Instagram.
That is my camera. That was not Instagram.
Gotta go on the Snapchat.
All right.
Hey guys, I said I wasn't drinking.
I don't care what you said.
Whoops.
Yeah, Gigi, you're my downfall.
I am Frank.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
To bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like,
That's pretty much this podcast. So, on that note, welcome back to another Last Call podcast. My name is Mikey T. I'm joined as always by Tristan through the power of the internet from the great state of Ohio.
Where the party isn't.
Where the party is. I've filled up the casting couch for tonight.
You brought in 4 women and 6 gallons of alcohol. I'm alone in a basement in Northeast Ohio.
It is quite the contrast here to this night on the Last Call podcast. But thank you to Raychel, Shannon, Gigi, and Maddie for joining us. Some are returning, some it's their first time. So thank you very much to all of you for coming.
some didn't get their podcast aired because the audio got fucked up.
Speaking of which, get on that fucking microphone.
Oh, hey.
Nobody's going to hear you again.
I'm sorry. I can be louder. Do you want me to be louder? I don't want to wake the kids.
I mean, they'll probably still hear you. You'll just sound like shit.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
So the main thing that I got all of you here today for, aside from the casting couch, is
That was the whole thing.
it's like, oh man, there's more. Jesus Christ. Was the prevalence of debauchery and sexual assault and everything in the media today, and all of your perspectives on it. So I was thinking there are plenty of ins to this. Does anyone have a preferred method to jump into this?
Well, I just want to start off by saying that I like beer and I drink beer, lots of beer. Beer.
Does anyone else have another into this topic?
I think a good end to this topic would be the sign that has caused so much what's the word? Controversy on social media as of recent.
Does anybody remember exactly what the sign said? I didn't look it up. It was something about grading sexual assault.
It said sexual harassment will not be judged, but it will be graded.
It will not be reported.
It will not be reported.
Okay.
But it will be judged.
Graded. Graded was right.
Whatever.
You were right.
Whatever.
Well, how
It
do
made
you
no sense, but
grade
it made
sexual
sense.
assault? Is it like, great job, dude, you really grabbed her by the pussy? Or like, you know.
How did we get so political so quickly?
Shannon's here.
Hi, welcome.
Shannon is representing Can't Get Right. N
she
bomb
did?
Happy Time Get Right Hour.
And Hennessy.
Hashtag can't get right.
Yeah.
Hashtag never right.
I was going to say something else, but we'll leave that.
Pound can't get right.
Hashtag Dixon can't read. Hashtag Dixon's gay. Hashtag
Leave Dixon alone.
I know, it's just so easy, you know?
Nah, fuck Dixon. He took a shot at us before you all came on. Fuck
I
him.
know, but I just have to say leave Dixon alone because that's just like been my thing as of recent.
Dixon's my side boyfriend, so
God,
I
that's
have to
terrible
have
for
his
you.
back.
I feel bad. He
would
doesn't
make a
bring
great
much to the
sugar
table.
daddy. No, exactly.
How would he make a great sugar daddy? He's cheap as
He's
fuck.
companionship. That's all I'm looking for.
He's bringing Crown Royal and bad breath.
Attitude. Lots of
I've been misled by your previous sugar daddies, Maddie. I'm really companionship's not really what the sugar daddy thing's about.
Go back to like the old people orgy.
Fortunately,
rather
I've
than
never
this.
had one.
yeah.
Somebody should be making a car payment or something.
It could be, I don't know. Or, all right, we'll call him a Splendor Daddy. How about that? Remember that, Gigi?
Let's leave that one alone, okay?
That's been my description for everybody that comes into Nottingham's.
That's
All
what
of
she
my
used to
sexual
call-
assault happens at Nottingham.
That's
Can't
actually
say
true.
all of it.
Not all, but a
large majority.
Like
of
when I
it.
go
You
there,
sexually assaulted me at Nottingham's.
I mean, but that's consensual, so it's
Yeah.
not sexual assault.
It's not technically assault.
You can't rape the willing.
this is true.
I don't know.
Notties has a history of
That is all that anybody is going to take out is what I just said.
That's literally all. That's
All
gonna
this
happen.
madness, and people are going to be like, "What the fuck did he just say?"
I don't don't know. I think that,
So all four of you, I assume, I don't know this. All four of you have worked in the bartending or restaurant industry at some point.
No,
Yeah,
not me.
yes.
Not me.
well, you did,
Not you.
Shannon works
Short
in
time.
divorce court.
We're not gonna mention my job.
Never mind.
You used
She
to work
doesn't
at a
do
bar. You
anything.
worked at a
Not
bar.
really.
Like,
not
yeah,
to the extent that you guys
Shannon
do.
has been in the bars.
she's
I was the bar.
Shannon was the bar.
And it wasn't me. It was another character.
Her name was
And-
Scarlett.
She has died as of now.
Yes.
So
Allegedly.
Chance.
allegedly.
allegedly, I want to bring her back, but I don't think it's safe or appropriate.
I see little like tidbits of her occasionally.
I know.
We
When
saw her a
Miss
few weekends
Svetlana
ago.
comes out. Scarlett occasionally comes out.
Yeah, but she was a wild and crazy
I
kid.
love Scarlett. God, I love Scarlett.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, back to the sign.
Let's. Can we send Maddie her beer?
God,
No, I'm not drinking that shit.
But
You're-
it's a natty
It's
daddy.
a natty daddy for Maddie Daddy.
I mean, I'll
So
take
it-
a picture with it and post it. That's about all you're gonna get out of that.
It's still
All right.
It's
Well,
essential. It's like
Whatever.
It's the
You-
same thing as being iced.
Yeah.
I'm not talking that. No.
But look at it. It's
Oh,
a-
God,
it's
if-
a
Don't chug
natty
it.
daddy.
Nobody.
it is not like being iced. You should post that to Instagram though, and shout out to Last Call Podcast. I'm just saying.
All right, we can do that.
Who did we have on the show who liked that? The Natty Daddy.
There was someone that liked it.
It's probably Sean Haskins because he's gay and it says daddy.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Not
Anything with
totally
word
out of
daddy in
I
it.
love
I don't think anybody. No, nobody's liked it. I mean, I said it's not as bad as you could imagine it to be.
I mean, I'm drinking natty ice, so
That's our
Natty
new and
Daddy's-
improved.
Natty Daddy's a
That's like-
whole other level. Mikey nailed it. It tastes warm even when it's ice cold. It is the worst beer
he told
I've
us.
ever had.
Quoted earlier.
He told us that.
I feel like everyone should have to sample the last Natty Daddy.
All right, we'll do
All
that. We
right,
can
all
do
right.
That
I
is-
can have another.
I
one.
said
I'm
I
only
wasn't
taking a
drinking.
sip.
So that
All right.
yeah, all right, crack that. I'll
Of
grab
this shit
grab
beer.
another, natural ice.
For Mama G.
Yeah, don't spit on the mic.
God.
Don't vomit on the microphone.
No, that was a
Little
bitch
fight
sip.
club.
Look
Do
at
it on
that.
the
Hey,
I don't even want it.
and I have to
Or
drink it last.
Gigi.
I get to watch all their faces.
Nope.
See, and you're
Yes.
mad at me.
Now I'm nervous.
Here we go.
Nope.
Yep. All right, and now I get to taste it.
Oh, that's really bad. It leaves a bad
Yeah.
aftertaste.
Like somebody made that and then handed it over to somebody and was like, "How is this? Should we sell this to
It's like
people?"
they use
And then they taste it,
stale
they're like, "Yeah,
Why,
that's-
why they banned it?
Yeah, well, I made that up. I'm just assuming.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna go with it.
I'm assuming that just nobody bought it
I mean,
except for me because I thought it was funny.
Don't even want that.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if
They
you thought it was
drink
funny,
Rick a
there's
lot.
probably other people who thought it was funny and bought it for that
Like
exact
like the
reason.
sign.
Like, yeah.
like 16-year-olds.
Well, that it kind of tastes like
Natty
high school
Daddy.
and college feels like.
Yeah, that's
Shit.
true. It does.
Tastes
High
like-
school tastes like I'm dying in a field from Jaeger.
It is a
tastes just-
great name for a beer. You're right.
It tastes just
It
as
does
bad as
taste
I
warm,
remember.
though.
It's like when
It's
people come into
not-
the bar.
It tastes,
like,
it tastes skunked.
Yeah, so that came that came right out of the fridge. Who knows how long it was at the liquor store, but
That's fair.
Wait,
Tastes like it's been sitting on the back deck on the 4th of July for 7 hours.
hours,
Hours.
Yeah.
Maybe days.
days.
I'm gonna go with days.
Let's be realistic.
Thank
here you
my
go.
dear.
Unless you want-
Unless
Unless you want to finish your natty daddy.
No, not at all.
Burn it.
That shows you how bad that shit is. Because natural ice, she's like, give me that.
Give me that shit.
Give me
I'll
that.
I'll take that. Oh, we forgot to start our timer.
Oh,
Oh my
Okay, because
God.
it'll be like perfect now.
You fucked
I-
up. How
I
are you
dug
ever
it.
gonna know when you have to get up for the 30
I already got
minutes?
up and restarted it once.
Oh,
So
okay.
just as a preemptive. That's our timer for today. So
It's lovely.
let's do this. So who wants to talk about rape? Huh? Huh?
Touchy subject.
All right, we'll start with Rachel since she's all the way to the left.
Are we going
Right.
down the casting couch?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't think anyone should rape. I think it's not a good thing.
Rapers.
Yeah, rapers and rapists and
Rapers.
rape in the
Sounds so much weirder.
Like,
Like,
no rape, like zero rape. That's a pretty hard line
It's
policy.
not like rape fantasy.
Okay, you know what goes on in your
Yeah,
bedroom
I'm
is
actually
what.
kind of about that.
I don't want to say that.
And I'm not
before I-
gonna say, you know, hey man,
This is what I'm dealing with here.
I mean, listen, but like, what is consensual?
All right, it's not funny, though. I'm not joking
Yeah, don't
about
rape-
this.
don't rape people.
Hold on. All right, let's bring it back. Let's get back to the sign
oh yeah,
Yes.
all of you.
at the meth bar.
don't hate me. I
It's
just
not a meth bar.
I told you.
So
you just can't light a cigarette within 20 feet of the door.
No.
all right, so
You
at,
said no. Yeah, you can.
there's a local meth bar where people get stabbed and die.
That was in the parking lot. That was not our
meth bar.
problem.
It was very close to the bar.
There was
It's
more
like-
than
it's like
one
when
person
people
who
used
showed
to
up in the
yell at people
comments about
outside
that
my back,
sign.
like, take it in the goddamn street, so it's not on our property. That's kind of what happened.
I mean, it's fair. Anyway. All right.
Tristan, what'd you say?
There was more than one comment in that thread from people who knew somebody who'd been murdered at that place. I was like, once you're at more
one
than
person
one,
that's happened to. One person.
I was there about 6 or 7 years ago, and two people got stabbed in the parking lot, like 5 feet away from the door.
It's okay. Nobody
Just
knows what we're
saying.
talking about. It's just
It's half price bottles and stab wound night. Like, just like
No, that's the worst part is that it's really not even that cheap of a bar. And we
It
still
really
get fucking
isn't.
shitheads in
Oh.
there. It's really not that cheap. Like
Okay.
even
okay.
as someone who frequents there, it's like, ooh, that's a lot of my money.
Damn. Okay.
all right.
Anyway.
The sign.
Back to
The sign.
So
Rating sexual harassment.
the sign. The main topic. So we found out about this after I'd already asked all you guys if you could be here. So there's just been a lot of stuff going on in the public eye about sexual harassment and everything. And then this post shows up about a sign that is at the meth bar.
I saw like 4 people repost it today, just FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw like 2 people.
Yeah, I'm over it at this
One
point.
one of which who has been on the podcast. And I commented on his post about it. It was like the sign is obviously a joke. It is
And humor is not for everybody.
stay on that microphone.
Sorry.
Pick one.
It's not
Humor
You
is
can
not
pull
for
it-
everybody.
It's
Yeah.
not for everybody, but no one meant any malicious intent by it. That's the point. Is that I understand that it makes people feel uncomfortable, and I'm not doubting that. I'm not sitting.
But
here
everybody's a
saying,
snowflake these days.
But my problem with it is that I'm not going to sit here and tell you to feel a certain type of way. If you've been through something that traumatic or that kind of experience, I'm not going to belittle that whatsoever. I mean, I'm pretty sure all 4 people sitting on this couch right now have been a victim of sexual harassment or rape in one way or the other. Sad to say, but I was a frequenter at this bar before I actually became an employee, and I knew that sign was there from day one. And never once was I like, oh, that's the worst thing ever. Never once was I like, oh my God, because there's this sign here that I've seen at 10 other fucking bars and God knows all over the fucking country. Do I feel any more or less safe than I would at a bar that didn't have security like we do, or that didn't have X, Y, and Z?
And I would just like to point out that, like, and I'm sure that this is not, I'm sure, trying to
All
put it
the
in my mouth.
microphones.
I'm sure that this is not specific to the service industry, but in the service industry, sexual harassment is very prevalent. And to be honest,
It's kind of lax.
joked about.
It's kind of lax.
It's joked
yeah.
about, and it comes from both sides.
It does.
Men on men, women on men,
A butt
men
slap
on
or a
women,
boob
women
raise
on
is
women.
like bound to
It's-
happen.
It's fucking normal. Like, I'm pretty sure we've all sexually harassed each other at some point or another.
Before
There's
we
definitely
started
some
filming,
titties
we,
on
like,
this
we're grabbing on your
couch
tits.
that I've grabbed on. Yeah. Like
we've
that's-
all grabbed each other's
We have
tits.
all
Like,
grabbed
I'm pretty
and
sure we've all like
We've
but
all been there.
And it's like, I
and
understand.
I'm
just silent.
I don't
We've
I
touched your
don't
tits.
I
Yeah, but that's not sexual harassment because sexual harassment and sexual assault is like unwanted. If
yes,
someone
exactly.
was like,
I
do
agree. And so here's my point. It's in our day and age.
Go on.
In our day and age, the problem is that we're joking about this.
But we joke
There's
about
certain
everything.
things that are funny. I get it, but Oh man,
She brings up a point. We joke about
we joke about
Everything is
everything,
joked
and that's the
about.
problem. That's why guys come up to you in the bar and
We're
they
literally
reach
joking.
under your dress and grab your.
Oh, are you talking
private
about like when
parts.
the dude punched me in the face for trying to grab at you on my birthday last year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the problem. That's why guys think it's okay, because it's like we're joking about it. We're just, oh well, I thought you liked it. You dressed like that, like.
Well, no, that's totally different. Dressing a certain way has nothing to do with how I expect to be touched. Granted, at the end of the day, I am completely in my head. Like this weekend, I went out like, you know what? I'm hoeing it up today. That was my exact words to my friends. Like, I'm about to hoe it up. I want to look good. This is what I'm going out to do. And yes, in the back of my head, you're like, oh, I'm going to the bar. I'm expecting to get some kind of catcall or some kind of whatever, because as bad as it sounds, it is something that is not necessarily accepted in our society, but it's something that happens, and
It's expected.
nine times at a time.
Expected.
And,
It doesn't
and
make
this
it
thing,
okay.
but also the catcalling that you get. I mean, think about it. Any girl that's like, oh, he told me my tits look nice tonight. I didn't want to hear that. And it's like, well, you fucking sat there and put a $400 push-up bra so they're in your fucking face. And it's like, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying you're asking for it or anything like that. But if you're perpetuating the situation, I can't agree with the fact that you're not.
But just because my tits are out doesn't mean some guy's allowed to be like,
Oh, nice tits, bitch.
And I was just about to say that, like, there is no perpetuating. Like, there's absolutely no reason why.
Just ram that shit in her face. She
She
likes
does.
it. She's asking for it. She's
I
asking
asked
for
Look
it.
at those tits.
I just had a baby. Okay.
Those are some HD quality Nikon titties.
Dear sweet Jesus.
no. So I'm gonna say that I can't say perpetuating is a thing, because a woman should be able to wear whatever the fuck she wants without somebody coming up to her. But in society today, she has to expect that that's probably going to happen.
I expect that. I went out on the weekend. I said something like, "Oh, I totally expect to be hit on tonight." Everyone was like, "What?" I'm like, "Duh." Like,
That's
you
not the
lied.
good,
Like,
that's
you know
not
what
the
I mean?
goal, but when you put
at the same
effort
time,
into
I
your
still
appearance.
don't think. Okay, dude,
Listen,
you can look at me and be like, "Damn, her tits are fucking nice," and yes, they
and
are.
just think it.
But that doesn't mean. And I'm
Yes,
not,
they
and I'm
are.
not this crazy of a person. I'm like, oh my god, he said I have nice tits. I'm offended.
No, but
But
are
I do
crazy people out
think
there like that.
But I do think that we shouldn't. If we keep thinking that it's not a big deal and it's a joke, then that's why guys do the things they do, because we're just brushing it off. It's not funny.
It's like
not
when you
a
laugh
joke.
off when you're uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I do that.
So-
Yeah, I do that too.
So let me provide the completely unrequested male point of view here.
Perfect.
I'd love to hear it.
Perfect introduction.
So
Especially from a logical Mikey, because you are logical.
And
so
we respect you.
So honestly, I think that anybody that any guy that acts the way that they're mentioning deserves anything that's coming for them. The problem I see with reacting to a sign or something like that is I think it's taking it too far. It's like you're making assumptions. It's like hold on. It just takes it to a level that is I don't know. It's speeding up the process too much. So it's making assumptions about the thought process behind putting it there. I mean, we've heard since then that it was the sign was put up by a woman.
I think that doesn't even matter to me.
No, I'm not
It could
saying
be put up by a homosexual, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
I'm not excusing the sign. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's a good sign.
Surprising to me that you don't think it's funny,
I
because
kinda
you find
thought it was
a lot
That's-
of.
I don't think it's
I just think
It's
it's, in
not-
poor taste.
no. Yeah,
Like-
poor. But I
Here's
think
my
a lot.
other-
I think a lot of poor taste humor is still funny.
But you have to.
But
think
it just
how long
wasn't
ago
very
was that
good.
sign put up?
It wasn't.
In
It wasn't very
retrospect
good
to what's
humor.
happening right now.
And here's
we're
another
15 years.
However, I think their response to it when when somebody who threw a shit fit while they were fucking hammered.
Yeah, I mean that the whole fit. That's too
Like,
team
that was-
too
that
much.
was what-
that's
too
the
much.
problem I
Like,
have.
amplified it, and the fact that everything that's been perpetuated on social media surrounding the image, like the one that we had shared amongst each other today,
That was from a friend of mine.
there was no quote from a general manager. They were not there that night. My general manager wasn't the one that spoke with them, and I'd like to make that very clear because we do not think that's a joke. If we thought that was a joke, we wouldn't have security. That bartenders such as myself or other girls behind the bar. And I mean, I did this when I worked at Diamondbacks. I've done this when I work at Green Turtle. If I see someone sitting at the bar, I mean, that's my first thing. I see a bunch of college dudes come in. And of course, I mean, maybe I'm stereotyping as well, but I just think the worst for these girls that are in there. And I'm like,
I mean,
oh my
what
God,
else are you supposed to think?
but once they're outside of here, they're no longer, I can't help them after that. So when I see a girl sit at the bar and she's kind of, she's got her head down or she's talking to a dude and obviously has an uncomfortable look on her face. As soon as she gets a free second, I am the first to walk up to you and say, "Hey, are you good?" Like
I've seen you do it.
he's gone. Like, yeah, I've done it at every place that I've worked at. I would never want
seen you do
someone
it.
to be put into an uncomfortable position because I know damn well if it was me and I was obviously like uncomfortable, I would expect even a total stranger to come up to me like, "Hey, I want to make sure you're good. I can see you're uncomfortable. Is there anything I can do to help? Do you need to get out of this situation? Or is he just drunk? You actually know him? Like, is this okay?
Which
You
I
tell
have
me."
to say, like, I've seen you do that. And also when both of us were working at Diamondbacks, like, I dealt with a certain situation that I dealt with a certain situation where, and I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but someone literally grabbed me by the pussy. And you came down after you heard about it and you were like, if you want to punch someone in the fucking throat, punch them in the throat. And literally people went to his house and spoke with him. Like there's many instances that we've all had to deal with as women, whether we've worked in the industry or just been there. But I feel like most girls try to look out for each other, especially in situations like ours where we've been bartending and like you can see someone's in an uncomfortable situation.
Or like, I know you're drinking and you don't really know maybe what's going on.
You
probably
don't-
drank
yeah.
Before you, I don't know what you did before you got here.
Listen,
but I
half
can
the
see you're
kids that came
uncomfortable.
to and I hate to bring up Diamondbacks again, but half the kids that came to Diamondbacks were college kids, especially, Wednesdays, so on and so forth. Like,
Wednesdays.
oh, Jesus.
Dollar Natty Bows, never again.
Oh, dear.
Rest in
sweet
peace,
I don't
Jesus.
even
Diamondbacks.
remember any of
We
them, but
miss
I
you.
know they were lit.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you see all of these girls and like a lot of people that you see, they come back and you get used to them, them, and you know that they mean no harm. But there's certain situations where you have to step in.
This is exactly why I have a problem with the sign. Because
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
because the bar is that feeding ground. Everyone's drunk, and alcohol plays a huge factor in sexual assault. Like, it's probably the number one, besides
You're
like
right.
Rufalin. So that's why it's
Rufalin. What the hell is a Rufalin?
GHB, Rufalin, Rupees.
How do you buy? Like, how do you go to your local drug dealer and say, like,
I've
I'm looking
always-
for rupees, bitch.
I need rupees.
Why they call rupees? You
Like,
have more
I need to
end up
forget
on the
my
floor
own
than the
whole
roof.
night tonight. I need to not know anything that I did. It's not asking for a friend.
I'm with Shannon here. I heard Gigi's story about being grabbed by the pussy, which is fucking unforgivable. So maybe let's not have a sign in the corner of the bar that literally says that that's okay.
That's my point.
Like, I get it's a joke. Like, I get it was put up in good humor probably a million years ago. Like, I'm totally okay with that. But we don't want, like, nowhere should be giving off the perception that that's okay, especially in a sexually and alcohol fueled environment like a bar to begin with.
That's
You don't want to give those. You don't want to give those guys. What's that?
I said that's why as soon as like that sign's been there for 15 years, and as soon as someone had a problem with it, it was taken down immediately.
Like, yeah, I'm not judging the restaurant owner. I'm not judging the bar. Like, I'm not saying they've done some great wrong and should be judged based on something they did 15 years ago. Like, it's down now. I'm just arguing in concept here. Like, that's why stuff like that's not okay. And that's why saying like, oh, like snowflakes are ruining the earth. No, maybe people are just looking at stuff and saying maybe we should reevaluate how we deal with these things.
Well, they also handled it totally poorly. But let me just ask this to the group as a whole. I would like to know that if someone, this is just your perspective, because my perspective, I don't think it's a sign that's going to perpetuate this. However, if someone is going out with the intent to sexually harass or rape somebody that night, regardless of if there's a sign
no
or
matter what.
I don't think a sign's the thing to perpetuate it. Granted, it wasn't poor taste, and I completely back that statement. However, I don't think that the publicity that is gotten due to
It's not
it
warranted.
being it's not warranted whatsoever. Like they took down the sign, they warranted it. Well, mind you, too, my owner, the guy who owns the place, had surgery on Thursday. He put out his apology today because he had fucking head surgery. Like he hasn't been able to put out an apology.
Yeah, they shouldn't have been brigaded like this. That was super fucked up. Like they don't deserve to be destroyed for something stupid.
And it's because the girl flipped out because she was fucking drunk, and
Yeah, I
she
mean,
had-
and it's
she
not
had
the
a
first
shit
her
fit.
response was OD.
Snowflake. Snowflake. But I do agree.
That's racist.
I know, but you always have to
She
throw
wasn't.
So I got a mixed baby now. I can say what I want.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But no, I just
My
think,
child is multicultural. So I can say whatever. I
So I'm good
Just
on
kidding.
racist comments.
I'm
I don't know. I
kidding.
just think the backlash that we've gotten, and actually the point of them taking down the sign was fantastic, and I'm glad they did, because it, as much as we thought that it was going to eliminate the issue, issuing an apology, saying that it was in poor taste, and doing all that, we are still getting phone calls daily of people harassing us over the phone, of people harassing me on my Facebook when I'm
Really?
I swear to God, did you know? Mikey saw the post the other night. I was on my way
Who's
there.
harassing you?
Some dude I don't even know.
Do I need to?
He grabbed
Wait,
somebody
you didn't
by the-
Does
know him?
Wayne Brady need to
No.
choke a bitch?
I didn't know who it was. I just said I was going there, and he was like, "They perpetuate sexual harassment. Be careful." And I was like, "You do understand that I work there, right?" And he was like, and then he posted a screenshot of the sign, the same one you guys all saw today, and was like, "You're free to do so, but you should be aware of the risk." I said, first of all, that's not a risk. Second of all, I would really appreciate if you do not slander my place of work over a Facebook
Well,
post.
that's the problem I've had with it is not that people were upset about the sign. That makes sense. I
Half
understand.
the people that slandered it have never even been there.
Yeah, it's
Literally, the
That's
girl
the
that
day and
posted the
age that
original
we
one
live in,
was not
whether
there
it's
that
right or
night.
not.
I've never seen her there before, and she is 21 years old. And my problem and my preposition to the girl who originally posted it, excuse me, I lost my coaster. But the girl who had
I think it fell.
originally, I had
There's a
it's
pile
over
of them there.
But I had gotten in, not
Orchard smells really good.
thanks. You want some?
Yeah.
But
We have
her and I
Maddie
had-
Daddy
so
if you
funny.
want.
She's like,
but her and I
Thanks,
had
you
gotten
want
into
some?
a discussion, and my question to her was, she was like, she made a point. She was very back and forth in her bantering with me, but that being left alone, she made a comment about how she has been harassed at every single bar in that community as a whole. And so my question to her was, so if there's a problem as a whole, why are you strictly trying to ruin the business of one proprietor rather than asking the community as a whole what the problem is?
That's a great question.
And she goes, well, they're the ones that fucked up, so they're the ones that have to feel my wrath. And that's what she said.
Well, I mean,
Bitch, shut the fuck up.
Feel your wrath? Like,
And
what?
then I made
You're
a comment
21-year-old.
You
those signs had been
self-important cunt.
Thank you.
Ooh, the C word.
Yeah.
I love that word. I
Scorched.
love the word cunt.
I'd rather be
It's
called a
so
cunt than a bitch.
underused. Don't call me a bitch. You call me a cunt.
Call me a cunt.
Thank you.
Like, yeah, bitch. I'm like, all right, no, you cross the line.
Whoa, whoa,
Cunt.
whoa.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, I love
I
the
understand
word
that.
cunt.
Cunt and twat are fantastic
I'm not
words.
crazy about the
Twat,
word
I'm not a
twat,
big
but
fan of.
I'm
Unless
Twat-
you're British.
Twat, I'm
Twat's very
different.
like casual. Like you can drop
Stupid
twat.
twat.
Twat makes me feel like you're calling me dumb,
Yes.
which I am not.
Okay.
You're
Gigi
calling
has
me a
definitely
cunt, and that
drank a
means
lot of
that
Jameson.
I've
I
made you
really
feel
pissed
some
you
type of
off.
way.
Yeah. Okay. I can feel that.
I'll give you
Which
that.
I will take.
Okay.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Use the
Serve it
microphone.
up.
I listen. I'm loud enough. Everyone can fucking hear me. Tristan, tell me something different.
I will do no
Tell
such.
him something.
What?
And
I
I will not tell you anything different. I'm not going to disagree with you in any way right now. I agree with it.
No
A
smarter
lot of
words have
Jameson.
ever been
Ohio.
muttered.
Mikey's the one that's here.
That is a smart married man right there.
you go.
You know
Yeah, I'm getting ready to just fucking hang up the phone before I get in trouble.
Yeah, that is a
I
suc-
love that. I
That's
love
a
when a guy
successful
knows he's
marriage.
gonna get in trouble, and he's like, you know, I'm not gonna do that. Like, smart.
You know what I was
So
which-
yes,
please,
end of
your
story,
woman.
The sign was in poor taste, but it was taken way too far. Way
But
too
that's
far.
like our day and age, though. Like when, like
because
one
everyone's a fucking
person.
snowflake.
Hold on, Gigi. All right, the
Mhm.
Jameson is talking
No,
right
it makes me angry. It makes me angry.
now.
I'm
Oh,
gonna call Groot.
The Jameson or the topic?
The topic.
I don't know, but it is like one person, you know, does something, and then it's like,
Aw.
everybody
Groot has a
attacks that
friend.
person.
Yeah, it's
I
like
love
there's
him.
strength in like
Hold on, where's
shitty
Dixon?
numbers. Oh, right.
Where is Dixon?
Come here, ugly.
Here we go.
Come sit with Rachel.
Oh,
All right, don't touch her like that.
Oh, yes, don't.
Sexual harassment.
Hashtag,
Raise your wait,
hashtag me too.
wait. Raise your hand if you've been sexually harassed by Dixon.
Oh wait, no.
Oh,
wait,
well,
no,
that's
Dixon.
fair. That's fair.
Well, no, it's
Wait,
always
what-
it's
Yeah.
Can you
always
see me if I raise my hand?
Yeah.
Look, Tristan raises his hand.
Tristan, were you raising your hand too?
I mean, you know, you're out on the dance floor. It's dark.
Me too.
Yes.
He's had a
When
few
Dixon's
many
had like
Crown and apples.
6 crown apples, yes.
You know, I've
Anybody's game.
Durante
He's never-
bombs.
Oh God. I'm
I
getting-
mean, look, the way I was dressed, I was probably asking for it.
No one's
Yeah.
ever asking for it.
Tristan, you're such a
I was.
slut.
Yeah.
Listen, like I said, everyone here has probably sexually harassed each other at some point in some way or another.
But it's not because that's consensual.
Okay, so have you been sexually harassed like in general? Like
all the
Of
time.
course.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
every time I
Of
go
course.
out.
okay, and
Wait.
like
Look,
Damn, I
But
literally.
I want to let Rachel talk some more here, but real quick, Tristan, do you have the pictures that I sent you earlier from random people
All
that
right, we
I?
don't want to see them. Oh, you just said
No, these
pictures I
aren't these
sent
aren't
earlier.
dick
I was like,
pics or some
"This is
shit.
weird.
Yeah, because we've gotten a lot of those over the years.
Yeah, no, I was saying.
And let me tell
and
you
I don't
something.
need I don't need a
Dick pics are
comparison.
never actually wanted.
Yeah, I mean, like you
Like,
hold
no
it next
one
to your
actually
hand so
wants
we know
to
how
see
big
that.
it is.
If they ask for
I
it,
might
it's
want to
because they
sometimes.
want to make fun of
yeah,
you.
I
with
mean,
their
for my
friends.
boyfriend.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna.
Or my
I'm definitely gonna
boyfriend.
show
Yeah,
my
I mean,
friends.
definitely
Yeah,
send
you're
me pics of
definitely
your
gonna show
dick if
your
we're
friends.
fucking.
I'm gonna be like,
Right.
ooh, look at it. Oh,
It's so cute. I want to knit it ahead.
You guys are definitely going to hate the second half of this episode. I thought Mikey told you.
It's like I got dick pics ready on lock.
We
All
just
right,
do
I'm
a
gonna
dick
put-
pic review for the second half. We'll just run them up on a monitor.
What about badge pics? Do you guys appreciate those or no?
Is that a thing?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think.
You've never got a
You've
snatch
never
shot?
gotten
No.
a badge pic.
Snatch shot? That's a
Snatch
great
shot!
term.
Rachel, I love you.
Yes.
I literally love you
A
for that.
snatch shot. Yeah.
A snatch
I
Snatch
feel
shot.
so fucking old right now. Why?
To be fair, I've never heard
I've
of it
never
either, but
heard
that
of
is
that.
the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never heard
Snapchat
that.
me that pussy. Yeah.
Snatch shot.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I think it's all about context. If there's like some text and some flavor, like, oh baby, I'm thinking about you, here's the thing. That's fine. But if it's just a picture of a vagina just straight to my phone,
Pictures.
that's crazy.
All right, shut the fuck up. Let him talk.
I'm sorry, Tristan. I'm sorry.
We're good.
No
My
disrespect. No
apologies.
disrespect.
Sorry, Tris.
You got to remember, there's essentially two channels here. There's us and there's Tristan. So
sorry.
poor Tristan has to get in a comment whenever
I'm
he
good.
can.
I'm listening. I'm listening about vagina pictures here. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Snapshot.
snatch shots.
You gotta
I'm
get right.
saying- I'm
Hashtag
saying-
snapshot.
Unwarranted dick.
To be fair, they
Especially when
go
it's
to
small.
my boyfriend. However, he's never asked for it. That's like one of those things where I
But
wake up
it's to
feeling
your
myself and he's at
boyfriend.
work and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna
Small
fuck up
dick
your
pic.
day real quick because you're at work and
Yeah.
you can feel nothing.
But it's to your boyfriend. And to be honest,
I wanted to see
to be honest, most guys aren't going to get mad at that. Like, but
What's he say? Like
That's just like if I grabbed
every-
a guy by the dick,
what's he
because that's
say,
how they would do us. They'd
every
be like,
time.
"Damn, girl."
Happens more often than you expect.
it does.
Yeah, it does happen
more
a
often
lot.
than you'd
It happens a
expect.
lot. I've seen a lot of dudes get grabbed by the
So
fucking
have
dick.
I.
Every time you
Well,
get
like-
a dick pic, it's never the first one. Like
Oh,
they always take one. Nope. Got to give it a smack. Wake it up a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
Take another one.
Ew.
All right, there we go.
No
That-
softy
Oh,
pics.
yeah,
there we go. Now we're
The first one, are you a psychopath?
Yeah, who's just
Here's
out there
my
sending?
flaccid dick.
Who's just out there sending like soft
I've
dick
seen it.
pics?
It's like I
I've
want
seen
you to
it.
know, like
Uh,
you got to see me in all my stages.
Oh my
To be
word.
like prepared.
oh,
You gotta
is
get
it like
the
a
lighting
GIF?
right, perspective's important. Like there's an art form here.
I like how you're mimicking this.
They always
do, like, the
they always put it in their hand so you can
It's-
see
you
like
have to
the
see
like
their
the
age, too.
comparison.
They're like this, and they're just, or there's a
Or
water
what
bottle
about when they
next to
put, like,
it,
or like-
or something,
yeah.
they're measuring
for
it.
size comparison. There's
And they never
always
send us
something
like a
for
mirror
size
pic, like a full body.
like,
Like
no, that's
always
so
just your
deep, you
dick
play
in your
a
hand.
remote.
Like, can I get like a face
No
and
damn well.
some body? No,
This
just your dick in
this
your hand.
podcast is madness.
Wait, what is this card? Are we ever going to get to that?
Oh, that's how we end.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we end
okay,
things.
okay.
All right, I just
You're
saw
jumping
it.
the gun, you're
I
jumping the
remember
gun.
it.
Huh?
Did you expect this to
end?
end?
It's never going to end.
Okay.
Pure chaos.
Oh yes.
This
Well,
is what you get with all the estrogen in the
you
room.
invited us.
Gigi's
It's,
got, like,
it's like the bar. At some point, Mikey's gonna start flicking the lights, and then he'll just slowly move you out of the room.
Or we'll just do what we do at every other bar and just start playing closing time, and we're all just like, no,
Get
but I know
the
the
fuck
bartender. Can I
outta
just stay?
here.
Can I get just
I
one more
am
drink?
the bartender.
Can I just get one more?
Oh,
Is my tab already closed out for real?
I
Like,
hate those. Did I
oh.
close my tab 3 times, motherfuckers? Like, yes, you closed it. And you didn't believe me the second time?
You know
You're-
what?
Rachel, stop
I would
talking
much
about me
rather-
like
You know,
that.
give
I
me
would
your
much
card.
rather them ask if they close their tab 3
True.
times rather than
True.
fucking walk out of their
Let me
tab.
stop. True.
Because
Okay.
you know what? I will fucking cut you.
Well, I like when I work at places when like you're like a walkout and it's automatic 20%. So
yeah,
walkout,
well,
bitch. I'll
not
give a
every
fuck.
place is like that.
You're
And
right.
also not
Oh,
every
I
place
fucking
takes
love
cards.
those places.
Yes, you're right.
Like, oh, I know you. You're here literally 5 days a week. I'm not gonna take a card. Then you leave, and I'm stuck with your $50 tab until you come in tomorrow. Granted, they make up for it. But it's the principle.
But still, it's
Pay
the-
Like,
your
you're here all the
tabs.
fucking time. You did not pay your
bitches.
goddamn tab. I am not
ask
your
me
babysitter
18
or your bank.
times if you've paid your tab rather than walk the fuck out.
However, the one thing that does bother me is when I have these same customers perpetually the same customers, and they always come in with a problem with their tab. Every single time. It's like,
Every
Guess
single
what?
fucking
They're not
time, these
customers
goddamn
anymore.
customers.
well, that's
come
the
in.
thing. Well, my
We've
thing was
gotten
like,
off topic.
Well,
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah.
No,
Customers.
sexual harassment. We've all been sexually harassed.
We have all been
We've all been sexually harassed.
We have.
Okay. Even Mikey.
Mikey's been
Hashtag
I've been
me
sexually
too.
harassed.
seen Mikey get sexually
My-
harassed.
My
friend.
profession
Yes, yes.
is what's that?
No, seriously. When we worked at Diamondbacks. Oh, you work at Diamondbacks? You know that hot bartender, the white one with the tattoos?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I've
mean
seen
Mikey?
get
Yes.
sexually
I got that
harassed.
from a
He
lot of
is
gay
the
guys,
hottest
too.
white boy I've ever seen.
I got a gay
Gay
fan
guys
club,
love
man.
You.
It's very true.
Gay guys.
I got a
love
fucking
you.
gay fan club, man.
Gary,
It's-
we know you. We know what you do to Mikey. Terrible things. Terrible, terrible things.
Dave, where you at?
I've heard what you would do to Mikey.
Nah, I mean,
Embrace it. Embrace that.
I try as best I can, but
And
I mean,
Christina's over here like, yeah, right.
Yo,
That's
Yeah.
my bitch.
Christina's over
I got that
there
shit on lock
taking
so
mind
hard.
erasers with me.
Yeah.
And then Mikey, you got mad that night.
oh, anytime anybody goes off on a mind eraser binge, I'm like,
Well,
eh.
you know, your wife told me to, so I thought it was okay.
Okay, now. Christina said it was okay.
And to be fair, Christina is the boss.
Well, Christina is
Well,
the boss.
there's
Mad-
that.
He didn't actually get mad. He was just like, you know, your leg is bleeding, right? Yeah, I know.
that's how.
So it was really for your own good, in like in a sense.
Yes, you know. It
Okay,
happens.
so sexual harassment.
Hey, there's a dude. I almost shoved a broomstick up his ass at
That's
Diamondbacks.
sexual
I
harassment,
chased a
Madeline.
dude- I chased a dude out with the fucking alligator-looking bar
So there
tap.
was
I
a
didn't know what she
wonderful
was
night at
gonna
Diamondbacks where I got the lovely pleasure of sweeping up the cigarette butts out front after we closed.
I gave her that pleasure.
And I'm outside, and this dude that is obviously way too fucked up, and he's
No,
not just
he was
drunk.
He was on.
He
some
was
shit.
on drugs. He
Stop
wasn't
talking
just
about my
drunk.
ex-boyfriend, Maddie. It's fucked up. Okay.
No, this was like the dude
Not
that was
him.
like, wait, what's the movie where they're pirates and they take over and he's like, I'm the captain now? That's what the dude looked
Fucking
like.
Captain
with Tom,
Phillips?
With Tom
Yes.
Hanks.
That's what the dude
Or-
looked like.
A
He's
Wait.
lot
like,
later.
"I'm the
A lot
captain
later.
now."
He was not that dark.
No, he wasn't that dark, but he was that
Very
skinny.
Yeah, he was very skinny. But so
I'm
I'm
not racist.
I'm sweeping up some cigarette butts out front because now I love my job and making money. But
I didn't want to do
I,
it. That's when she was doing it.
I don't know where the fuck our barback was that night because that's their job. But
Whoever
all right.
jamming
Jamming out Andrew.
All right. What's the end of this story? Let's
Anyway,
get to
so I'm
it.
sweeping these cigarette butts, and this guy comes up to me and is asking me if the bar's still open. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. It's past 2. We're closed. You know, come back tomorrow. Okay. He kind of like walks up the street a little bit and turns back around and is like, so what's your name? And I gave him a fake name.
That's always how it starts.
And I was like, is there anything else I can help you with? And he was like, well,
Maddie's got her little
I
whore
guess
voice.
so.
She's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, there is
some booty shorts too, and she was probably doing her little dance.
no, I was sleeping on a cigarette buzz. That ain't that cute of a job. I was not
Good.
playing that one up.
I'm gonna go let this story progress.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so I'm sweeping them up. We go through all that or whatever. He starts talking to me, and I was like, look, dude, at the end of the day, I'm not doing that. Or well, just I'm not talking to you.
what?
I'm not
Whoa,
talking to you.
whoa.
I
Was
like,
there
what are you
money
doing? And I was like,
involved?
just
Did he
walk
pull
on,
out the
bar's
bills?
closed. I really don't want you to know about me, whatever. And he was like, whoa, you don't have to be so hostile. I was like, I'm not being fucking
That's also another
hostile.
one.
I'm telling you that I don't want to fucking talk to you
You're
right
a
now.
slut. You're a bitch.
And he
gotta be
looks
a
to me
bitch
and
about
goes,
it.
well, okay, that said, how old are you? And I was like, it doesn't fucking matter how old I am. I need you to leave.
And you can't say like I'm 16 because I don't really
Yeah.
care.
No.
And then of course,
they
but he
don't.
goes, I don't really actually care how older you are. I just want to make sure you're old enough to fuck. And I said, excuse me. I said, I have a bunch of dudes inside right now that will beat your ass. First of all. Second of all, I got a broomstick I'm about to shove straight up your ass so it comes out your mouth. Get the fuck out of here. And so he walked away and went down to our lovely neighbors at Ghost Lounge. And that's when I went inside, told Gigi and all
Okay,
them
so this
about it.
is my ex-boyfriend. He
And-
went down to Ghost Lounge.
No,
Well,
not
he went
at all.
no. He went down to Ghost. She came in and she was like, I could see she was like visibly upset. And I asked her what was wrong. She told me what was wrong. And then literally not 1 second later, Dee and Sabrina call me. And they literally, it was like a group text. It wasn't a call. It was a group text. And they're like, this dude is down here. Like, can you send Andrew down to take care of it?
Who's up at Ghost for Diamondbacks right now?
So-
Send someone down, or-
So I already knew it was going down. So I grabbed, there's this Andy Gator,
it was you, little Big Mike, Josh, myself, and
Kenny,
Kenny.
Andrew.
Andrew
Told
wasn't
ya.
there. Andrew wasn't
Oh,
there.
No, Andrew
ja.
was there.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. I promise you, because he was
All
standing
right,
right
Andrew may
behind
or
me.
may not have been there. Next.
Anyway,
Next.
uh,
Okay, Mikey's back.
no, because it was a busier night, so little Big Mike and Andrew were both there.
That's right. Yeah.
I can only imagine where the story has progressed from here.
So anyway,
Broomsticks
so
up buttholes.
so I'm walking down with this Andy Gator tap, which is like has like spikes on it,
She like pulled her from the top of the bar.
and I'm literally
this is my shit.
I have 6 dudes behind me, and I'm literally like, oh, I get both mics? Oh, I'm special.
This is like a.
No, I'm literally.
This is your casting couch.
I'm,
we have to see how
Fuck.
you handle with both
I'm
hands.
literally talking to this guy, and I'm just like, listen, I will kill you, but I don't want to. So I can't hold these guys back for very long. Can you pour me one too?
While we're at it.
I
Okay.
can't hold these guys back for very long.
Oh,
So if you don't want to get beat with this tap and then stomped to death by them, you're going to leave. Well, then I keep telling him to run. He finally runs. Then he goes to 7-Eleven and starts harassing the dude at 7-Eleven. He was
Oh.
clearly on some shit.
And D too, but she went up there for
Bath
D
salt.
was.
Oh,
D-
okay. This
yeah,
was all right. I
Yeah.
remember the same story.
Yeah.
It
When
was.
Josh called
I
me
thought it was
back-
the harpoon tap.
No, it was the Andy Gator tap.
Oh, okay.
It was the Andy
Harpoon was
Gator tap.
there. It was a backup.
Yes, but
was
Andy
the
Gator
main
was the
bitch.
tap. No, I chased
Bring
him
it
out
in,
with
Gigi.
that, and I'm just like, literally, like, that's not a shot.
Look, I've apologized for my behavior on that night on several occasions. You know, I tell the story over and over and
I
over.
almost
again.
spit Jameson out of my nose, Tristan. That is
It was
not
inappropriate, okay?
Fair. Not fair.
No,
So anyway,
seriously,
so-
no, I like the guy's effort, but I
So
don't
by the
like
way,
his style. I
dude
grade
goes- dude
sexual
goes-
What kind of
Hold
tap
on.
was it,
4 out of
Gigi?
10.
Andy-Gator.
Hold on. What'd you say, Tristan? You
I
said you
appreciate
like-
the guy's effort. Low points for style. I grade that guy's sexual harassment 4 out of 10.
He gets a 4 out of 10 for sexual harassment.
So
Yeah, if we were grading this at the meth bar, like what would
I would give
A
it like a
plus-
B.
oh okay.
Because he wasn't like
No, he
grabbing
was kind of a bitch.
anybody.
She's right. B.
Yeah.
Kind of
Give
a
it like a
bitch.
B minus.
So like A for
I'd give it
effort.
better.
So,
All right, so A for effort, but on a follow.
Execution?
Honestly, you know what?
Execution
No,
was
because
C.
he's a giant puss. So
I
I'm
may
probably give
have-
it a C.
Plus-
No. So
Plus.
he's
C plus?
He's
No, not even
harassing.
Give
dude
Maddie back a
in
microphone.
7-Eleven. He's harassing
Maddie, can't hear
D.
you.
He's harassing dude in 7-Eleven. He's harassing D. We get a call. I'm with Josh and Maddie. So
There's an Andy Gator tap.
no, the Andy Gator tap is done.
In
It's
case
gone.
you guys,
It's
forgot.
done. It's
We were
done.
closed up at that point. We were all on D-Log.
Fuck
just
you, Scarlett.
getting ready to leave.
There's just gonna be a bunch of me
Um,
like whispering into the mic.
That's fine.
Sensual whisper.
She said Andy Gator in case you guys forgot.
I did eight times. 8 times. No. So D calls us and she's like, the dude is here again. So we go down and I literally
fucking little Big Mike knows Arabic and spoke to him in Arabic and made the dude cry.
this is
That's
true.
right.
This
He
is true.
Oh, that story.
This is true. He apologized to everyone, including the 7-Eleven man.
And Josh told him he was banned from Diamondbacks. D told him he was banned from Ghost, and he was apparently also banned from that 7-Eleven too. Surprisingly enough.
Oh, that's
And
the
then we
one
called
we
the
had,
cops.
right?
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
was it. That was
we had
it.
all the spikes on it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get this in the frame. So
It was
keep,
kind of
Everyone
intense.
knows.
keep talking.
I threatened to stab him with it.
It was good.
I was going to stab him.
Hey, Gigi, how many Jameson shots have you had?
Fuck you.
That's how many.
About fuck you.
Okay, so it's about 6.
fuck you. That's how many.
So what
I
ended up
hate that
happening
you
to the
know
guy?
me so
He just
well.
cried in 7-Eleven?
I hate
What?
that you know me so
What
well.
happened to the guy? He just cried in 7-Eleven?
Yeah, he cried out front.
He literally.
He legit, like fucking little Big Mike, the genius that he is, knows Arabic or whatever.
It was Arabic.
It was Arabic,
It was
and
Arabic.
he would spoke to him in his native tongue, and the dude knew what he was saying and realized that he was like no longer the nail lady at the salon that could talk about us behind our back. Like he talked to him, and the dude fucking broke down.
That's amazing.
Oh my
I would
god.
love to know
He
what you guys are
spoke
laughing about.
His
The native
tongue
tongue.
of his mother country. It was beautiful.
Mother country. Yeah, I get it.
The
I get it.
motherland.
I live with somebody who's
He literally
Arabic, and I live
spoke
with somebody
in
who
his
speaks
native
Arabic.
tongue. Oh man, that was good.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
It's not that
Mikey's
funny,
rolling
but
his
damn.
eyes.
It's
So,
not
Mikey,
that
what's your
funny.
next topic that we can go on a tangent on?
And that man was Brett
Arrest.
Kavanaugh.
Because beer. And then
You just
Tristan,
made
you're great.
you just made Shannon wet.
Oh God, thank God you're so many states away.
And white. Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
You get lots of shots.
Yep.
yes, Gigi. About 6 to be precise.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm sorry, we
I'll
haven't
take
really
another
been
beer.
counting.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You see what had happened.
There's a Maddie
I
daddy
can't
here.
drink that. It tastes like fucking rotten garbage.
God, I really hope I don't taste like that.
It's like a wounded soul.
You know.
Are we talking about your
Daniel.
I don't care.
Daniel, call in.
Yeah,
Call a
right.
friend.
Please
I'm
contact.
just saying.
He's
like,
sleeping.
Oh, Daniel's been asleep for like 5 hours.
Yeah, I told him today. I was like, "Oh, by the
He's
way, I gotta
actually
go
gonna
to
be up in
Mikey's.
about 30
I was like,
minutes.
"Hey, by the way, I have to go to." I said I was trying to type. I had to go to Mikey's house. I forgot to tell him that I was doing this tonight, and it came out Miley. And he read the whole text, had no issues. I was like, Raychel, Shannon, Gigi, everyone was gonna be there. And he was like, "Who the fuck is Miley?" I was like, "My bad, Mikey." He was like, "Oh, okay, whatever. Like, I'll talk to you later then." Like,
Yeah, no one cares. Everyone loves you.
then he went fishing,
Hey.
and Josh never been.
to go
And I'm
rape some
assuming
bitches.
Josh caught all the fish with his mouth. You know, big bear. Just saying.
He was that one
I have no idea what timeline we're on, but I think it might
I
be.
think we still have halfway.
We're close enough.
I don't know. When do we turn that over? Like 15 minutes in?
I mean, I
Yeah,
feel like we can
probably
go
another
longer.
15 minutes.
It wasn't quite that long. Into it.
Yeah, we haven't talked about
I feel
anything.
like we haven't
minute.
talked about
have
like
not
why
talked
guys
about
need
anything.
to stop.
That's because we have 45 people
Really
yelling.
love that.
Are you
It's
really
Gigi.
that? Do we need like a spirit stick?
It's-
so
Are
everyone
you
knows?
really that overcome by the estrogen?
Gigi is
To be
wasted.
fair, you worked with two
I'm
of
not
us.
wasted.
Well,
I'm
three of
just-
us actually, on two at different
no.
times, but three
No.
of us, and
Not wasted by
served
any
one of
means.
us a little too much on both occasions.
Not wasted by any means.
This shit escalated very quickly.
Don't take this away.
You were talking about what we were talking about earlier. Were you talking about with the pictures you sent me earlier? Were you talking about like the false rape accusations? Is that really
Yes.
the road that you want to walk down?
I want to get into that.
You're a
Hold on.
fucking madman. What's wrong with you?
I am a madman. We need to get into this because this shit is fucking batshit.
Can I grab a beer?
You can have a natty daddy.
Daddy.
Is there anything
Fucking
that's not
strap
shit?
in, folks.
I'll be very quiet during
Absolutely,
that.
all of it is shit.
It's all shit beer.
You can get to my my Jesus Christ.
Jesus, give me.
Do you have some Coke in there or some shit?
Yeah.
Whoa! Don't give me that,
Maddie.
Don't give me that.
Are you talking? What are you talking about? There's vodka on the table, and I'm asking for a Coca-Cola.
Oh, she's so sweet.
Oh, Jesus
no.
fucking
Coca-Cola.
Christ, you assholes!
Nobody thought that.
You,
thought
yeah,
you
I
were
don't know
trying
why
to
he was going to
ski.
the fridge. Can I get a fucking
Jeez.
Coke? Like,
What the
I get a
fuck?
Coke.
thank you.
What kind of madness are you people perpetuating?
Especially because I
All
already
right,
finished both of my drinks, so I need to drink some
I
more.
just want a beer.
Good luck, everybody.
Anyways, so are we talking about?
I don't know. I'm not here to judge. You're on a podcast about drinking. What if you want to do a fucking blow a fucking line or two? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
False
Judgment-free zone.
accusations for rape
Yeah, we're like-
allegations.
Oh, we actually had that.
Wow, that was
a few weeks
great
ago.
pronunciation.
Thank you. We actually had a problem with that at the bar a few weeks ago.
at the meth bar.
A lot of vodka.
At the meth bar. The problem was
She
that
said it. She said it. She admitted
we
it.
were
At the
all-
meth
No, I was agreeing
bar.
with you because it's easier to do that than argue you at this point.
Nobody
so,
wants to say the actual
but-
name of the bar,
No, we're
so
not
it's
going
fine.
to because I will cut somebody over that shit.
Yeah, no one's gonna
Just
say
like
it.
everyone else had to, whatever. But anyways, so
You know what? A nice cold Coke is really good for the nerves.
it is.
Yes.
However, we were
A little
there,
bump will really get you going. You know,
and it was
welcome to Last Call.
It was about 3 weeks ago. It was a girl, and I was actually working. Well, I work Thursdays, so there you go. That's college night for you in a nutshell. The first time this happened, the girl had literally. We were closing down. It was 10 of 2 at this point, and we had already called, obviously, last call at 1:30. What is so fucking funny, bitch?
You bitch. Fucking
Finish your story, baby.
Anyway, so this bitch is there. And
sorry,
she's hammered drunk. We had a few of our regulars in there playing pool. Totally normal dudes, whatever. And this chick, it's the guys, we're like, hey guys, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's almost 2 a.m. Y'all have to get out. They're all leaving. The guys are actually already outside. And we're all behind the bar starting to clean stuff up. But we're standing there watching this girl with security like, hey, it's time to go. And she looks at us and just screams, he grabbed my ass. And we looked at her and said, what? She goes, that guy just grabbed my ass. We're like, well, he's security and he's been there the whole time. He didn't we were standing here watching. There's no one around her, mind you. There's no one around her. She's like, well, I'm not leaving until that dude that grabbed my ass is gone. Like, well, you're the only one in here right now. She's like, well, he grabbed my ass and I feel very uncomfortable. And we were like, well, if you'd like to actually come back in the morning, we'll be more than happy to go through the cameras with you because we do have cameras in that bar.
Mhm.
Like, we'll go through everything with you if you want to, if it would make you feel better. Like, security will walk you to your car or to your Uber, wherever you're going. Like, we will make sure you get there safely. No, that motherfucker grabbed my ass and I'm not leaving until he's gone. He's gone. He's been gone for the last 10 minutes. It's now 2 o'clock, pretty much on the dot. We're about to lose our license if you do not fucking leave. Like, get out. Go to your Uber. Your friends are all outside.
Fair.
He grabbed my ass. We're like, no one grabbed you. We were all standing right here waiting for you to leave. Like, where did it come from? No one grabbed you. No one did at all. In the last half an hour you were
Fucking
here.
ghosts.
Exactly. And so
It is
she,
October.
mind you too, the best part about this was that she leaves, is in the parking lot screaming at all of her friends that they were now touching her, which was just one of
Someone
those things.
touch this girl.
Yeah,
please.
well, no, like she's out there just
She's
like,
a-
you
she
fucking
needs
touch
to
me, and
feel.
you
Way to support
You fucking
rape
touch me.
culture, Shannon.
And then
God, I am Groot.
this bitch comes up to the front door at like 2:15 in the morning and stands there until 3 a.m. She's there for 45
For what?
minutes. For what?
She's
we don't know. if
waiting for
Someone to grab her
something.
ass.
What is
Well, she
the-
stands at the she stood at the
very
window.
horny that
I
night.
love
Hold on.
Rachel.
Hold on.
Don't
Look,
hurt me.
No more.
No.
But no, she just stood at the window and knocked on it for 45 minutes.
Okay, well,
just stood
she's
there.
obviously a killer. So don't fucking
Like,
let
What a
her.
hash
Like,
slinging
I need to come
slasher.
inside. I need to come inside. Don't
You
grab
should
my
never go back there again.
See what happens when you put signs up at your meth bar.
Yeah, right.
So
Oh, this is before any of that even happened. This was like weeks ago. It was just one of those things that really caught me off guard. I'm like, it's not rape if you lie about it, bitch. I'm sorry, but it's
We were
not.
just a normal meth bar back then. Okay?
Yeah.
Just a week ago.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Literally.
back when the world was simple.
2 weeks ago.
Look, at the end of the day, my bill's still getting paid, so fuck it.
So here's
Oh,
here's the tweet or whatever that somebody posted. Said a 17-year-old boy just hung himself after being falsely accused of rape. Right after that, his mother hung herself too. This is what false accusations do to innocent people. The accuser who lied should face multiple charges, including 2 for manslaughter. Who agrees?
Wait, that's a thing?
I guess.
I did not see that one.
Let me just say.
well, let's just say
yeah.
that Twitter has a lot of stories told on
That's
it.
Yeah.
very.
So it's 2 years old.
Hold on.
If
So
Sorry,
it's
go
2
ahead.
years old. It happened in London. It was a 17-year-old kid, a girl. It's all kind of under wraps because they're young. But a girl brought rape accusations against him.
Wait, did they know each other?
They did. Well, like I said, it's really unclear how it happened. But 2 weeks after she brought the allegations, she withdrew them. And later,
Hold on. Let him
withdrew
go.
them. We don't know why she withdrew them. We don't know what, like I said, they're both under 18 and they're both in Europe. So it's really hard to say what exactly happened. But she withdrew the allegations. He later hung himself. He did suffer depression beforehand, but he left a note and said that's why he hung himself. A year later, his mom also hung herself because her son was dead. So that's what happened.
okay, so let's
So
just
technically, from a legal standpoint, it was a girl. Yeah, she wouldn't have been found guilty of
but
manslaughter.
let's just
Well,
be like
you're right.
100% like
Right.
let's be real. Like
Well,
if you have, I'm sorry, you have the fucking audacity to falsely accuse somebody of fucking rape when there's plenty
when
of people out there
hide your
that have
kids.
actually fucking gone through it, and you have the fucking audacity for whatever your goal is to falsely accuse somebody, go fuck yourself.
To ruin
Like
someone's life.
seriously,
Fame.
no, seriously, like
You
because
do.
there's people out
You
there.
deserve to die.
You are the reason that real fucking victims aren't believed. Like you're fucking bullshit because you want to make money or you want to ruin someone's life or your ex-boyfriend pissed you off. You're angry for whatever fucking reason. It's fucked up, and go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You don't fucking deserve to fuck someone's life up like that.
I
and
don't
take
like
it away
that
from
girls
victims.
always
100%
result.
right.
Girls always resort to that. They're always like,
And it's
well, he
disgusting.
raped me.
It's disgusting.
That's always what it is, because you wake up the next day like, man, I wish I didn't fuck with you.
Brain out.
Look, I can't tell you how many times there are days when you wake
I
up
had a
like,
sneeze.
man, damn, I'm not happy that I
I'm
fucked
not
that
gonna
dude.
tell
When have I
anybody
ever
about
Okay,
that.
brought
then
someone
don't
to court
ever tell
over that
anybody.
shit?
Can I say something very seriously? Very
Give her a mic.
seriously.
I'm
I,
gonna start singing.
Let it go.
I will not.
let it go.
That was terrible.
She took it like this.
Hold on. She's very serious.
If
I'm
I
a
started singing,
She's a parent now. She
If I
understands.
started singing, it would be Lauryn Hill.
Look, before you say something you regret, it's probably way too late to cry rape on your
I'm
baby
not going
daddy.
to say
Okay,
something I regret. Trust me.
way past that.
Not going to say something I regret. I have someone very, very, very close to me that
Me.
no,
No,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Don't-
No,
don't-
Shannon.
Don't take this one.
Don't take this.
I promise
All right,
you.
go ahead.
I have someone very close to me that has blatantly lied about being raped more than once. And to be honest, the very, very first time, I completely believe her. But she realized she could get attention, and oh, it makes me so mad. Okay, so the 3 other times that this has happened, she's been in a fight with her boyfriend. The circumstances have been exactly the same. She's walked off. This has happened. That has happened. Whatever the case. And literally the last 2 times that she said that this happened, I called it while she locked herself in a bathroom. And that is not okay because, as you said, the victims that have actually been through these things,
It devalues
it does.
Yeah.
It devalues it. It
it's
is
fucked up.
literally irreprehensible for someone to say that has happened when it has not.
And that's why that's an argument. That's
And-
why
and-
that
and
argument
beyond
exists,
that-
because it's happened.
Beyond that, you are ruining that person's life. You are ruining their reputation. So I see the argument on both sides because there are women out there like that. But at the same time, literally half the population of women has had some form of sexual harassment or rape.
I'd say essentially 100%
Yeah.
of women
It's
have.
Like
Depends what it is,
99.
I
though.
can
99.
literally,
I
I can
mean-
literally sit here and tell you numerous times that I've had to deal with some form of that, if not my head being beaten into bricks while somebody tried while I lived in Wild Lake and I was literally just trying to go get a pack of cigarettes. Like, it's not fucking okay. It's not a joke. It's not okay. But the women that sit there and say, oh, well, this happened and that happened for attention. You are literally devaluing, as you said,
Real
devaluing real victims.
And that's what drives me nuts with the situations that I've had concerning the sign,
This
for
for
instance.
me.
There's a lot of
I
people
can't.
that I've seen that have
I'm done.
quote unquote come forward or been in situations where I see it happen. And what makes me the most mad is that, I mean, I lost my virginity to a rape situation, and I was 14 years old. Sorry, that's like super personal, I know. But that's one of those things where, as that happens to a person, especially at such a young age, yeah, I went through some stupid shit. I did some stupid things, but
at no point did you fucking ask for it.
no, I did not ask for it, A. B, nor did I take someone to court over it. At the end of the day, I understand that that is an option, but people that lie about it make it bad for the rest of us. And when it happened to me again when I was 18 and I was drugged, that's a totally different scenario again. And it's like but that's the thing is, again, it goes back to the situation of the sign where when I see these people, they're like, oh, this guy grabbed my ass or he did this. And I'm like, that's what you're worried about? Like, I get that. I understand why you're upset about it. I understand why you're worried about it. It's not okay. But last I checked, a sign wasn't the thing that held me down and forced themselves inside of me. So I don't think that's
correct.
That's why it had a lot of unwarranted press, and that's what bothered me the most about it. And
would have happened despite the sign.
Exactly, and that was my thing.
Because if you have that in your fucking head, you're gonna do it.
And that's just the bottom line. And
because it's an entitlement.
Yeah, and that's
it's an entitlement.
Yeah, but the sign. Let me get back to the sign. The sign represents something negative.
And
just
I don't
like,
agree with you. I don't agree. Or I don't disagree.
I was like, just like, okay, signs that say back in whenever it said whites only. Well, that doesn't, that isn't doing the racist acts, but it represents something negative that is fucked up. And, anyway.
I have a question. Okay, so this sign, again, not a good time. However, I've seen a sign recently, and it was very similar, not in situational theory, but in the fact that it was something that if the wrong person saw it, it would be under the same scrutiny that this one was. So whining children left alone will be sold to the highest bidder.
Again, not funny.
Again, in poor humor. However,
fucking
because
hilarious.
That's not a shit. Because that's not something that's
I think it's
focused
different
on
because
right now.
it's not like a crime. They're not saying like whiny children will be murdered.
Child trafficking is a very huge thing, and because it's not in the news right now, no one
is very much.
I
think
will
about
take that sign down because I'm offended.
Well, that's exactly
And
my
also,
point. That
all
sign's
your
been there
Trump
for
signs
15 years.
Offended and triggered.
Here's the problem is that humor is subjective.
It very much is.
For sure.
And that and what people take offense to is subjective. Now, how you react to that personally, how you react to that personally, I think is entirely up to you. I think you can be absolutely offended by anything, but just because you are offended by something doesn't mean it is inherently offensive.
Right.
I agree.
And I do understand
So,
that.
because of that, I think that something like the sign should not be a political standpoint where somebody says, because of this, we never, no one with adequate morals should ever frequent this meth bar ever again.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's crazy.
That's the problem I have with it.
Of a bar. It
No.
warrants-
I wouldn't go along with that.
Someone or someones who have been through not only sexual harassment but very much more, I can say, like I said earlier, humor is not for everyone.
Mm-mm.
But and I do understand where that humor is coming from, but though it may not be appropriate, it doesn't necessarily mean what everyone thinks it means. It's a snowflake thing, and I'm
no
sorry
one's
to
going to sit there and say.
I'm actually not
"Oh."
sorry to anyone that's
No.
offensive to. I don't give a fuck.
But no, we don't perpetuate.
It's
bar in
not
their right mind would
perpetuated.
perpetuate.
No,
I mean,
no.
okay, so I had a conversation with someone close to me about this situation the other day that whom you all know, not naming names, but we were talking about it online, and he had come to me like, "Did you hear about that?" All right, Kyle. But he was like, no effort. But he asked me,
Jesus.
He's a habitual line
Don't tell your
stepper.
secrets
no,
to Maddie.
but to be fair, no, this was just he just messaged me the same way other people had. No,
You know who you
I'm just
are.
saying,
you
he
He
habitual
says a lot
line
of messed
stepper.
up things
No,
about
no,
women.
this was
He's
not
a habitual line
Anyway,
stepper.
go
This was
ahead,
not messed
Maddie,
up.
go.
This was not messed up. This was just him messaging me saying, were you aware of this? He goes, when I first saw this, all I knew was that you and a few other people work there that I'm very familiar with. And he was like, look, I want to make sure you guys were aware of this before it went any further. And I said, we are. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we got to talking about it. And I pretty much explained to him what we've talked about majority of this time about how it came about to be what it is now and so on and so forth. But long story short, he just kind of was like, I used to bounce at a strip club. He's like, and people would get mad at titties in the strip bar. He's like, don't get mad. He's like, don't get mad at titties in a strip club. He was
kind of why you're there.
and that's what the point he was making. He was like, you
Ooh,
guys,
I'm not going to say don't get mad at sexual harassment in a bar.
but no, not
titties
like that.
in a
Titties in a
strip
strip
bar.
club.
Oh, I thought we were comparing the two.
No. He's like,
No,
triggered. No,
triggered.
he just, but he's just, no, he was helping. He was like, dude, like, he's like, because he said the same exact thing. He's like, it was obviously in poor taste, but dude, like, that sign has been there for how long? And why would, like, it just affected the wrong person, which I get. However, when you're not a victim and you're going to victimize yourself because Facebook 15 minutes of fame is worth your fucking life. Like I just,
social media.
to be fair, at the end of the day, this is going to be terrible to say, but I truly hope that one day in the future, she's applying for a serious job when she's an actual adult and they see what she did to this and they're going to be like, nah, Facebook is a thing and it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life, you dumb bitch. So.
Moral of the story is take
She
the
was
fucking
asking
sign
for
down.
Yeah, right. I've been harassed at every bar in the
Kidding.
community, but I just want yours.
Kidding.
I mean, as a bartender, you have to kind of like put up with a certain level of
You
sexual
have to
harassment.
laugh it off, correct? Rachel?
Yeah, and like, yeah, I mean, like,
From
there's
males and females, though, as a
there's
female
shit that you'll
bartender.
hear.
From males and
Yes.
females. This is
That
not
you
a
can
male
brush it
oriented
off.
thing.
Yeah.
This is both sexes. Both, like, honestly, I have seen more sexual harassment towards men in the past year and a half than I have
I've
towards
seen
women.
a lot
You
of
know what?
sexual harassment.
I'm grabbing.
towards Mikey.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry.
I've seen a
Well, no,
lot.
I've
of
seen
sexual
a
harassment towards
lot more
Mikey.
towards men than I have towards women at the last few bars that I've worked at. I've
God
never
damn it, Maddie. I said I'm sorry.
Jesus, Tristan!
Stop sexually harassing me, Tristan.
Listen, I've seen a lot of sex. I'm not gonna lie, I have seen a lot of sexual harassment towards Mikey. I've seen a lot of sexual harassment towards men that I've worked with in the industry. I've worked in bars. I worked in casinos. I've worked in restaurant, like strip clubs. No, I haven't worked in strip clubs.
I just felt like that was like the
I've
last.
been in many. strip
Everyone
clubs.
has-
Well played, though.
Everyone has
That
a
was
line.
that was
Like,
good.
Everyone does.
everyone has a
everyone
line,
does have
and
a line. You are
you could
very
joke
correct.
with the same person over and over again, inappropriately, sexually,
and
whatever.
one person
And-
can do something
and
to
one
person
day you could say the
versus
wrong
someone
thing.
else.
Exactly.
But we're blurring
And
the
it's the same
lines
thing.
though, because sexual assault, sexual harassment is unwanted. It's
Okay,
when you
it's-
become
yes,
uncomfortable.
yes,
But
yes,
it's not
yes.
black and
There's
white.
a
I mean,
difference
being
between-
But
One at a time.
But
Mikey,
this is what I'm
Mikey.
saying. This is what I'm saying.
You have 20 seconds. You got to reset the camera.
Oh.
How can you differentiate between sexual harassment and sexual assault and so on and so forth when you see the people that are comfortable with those people and know those people doing those things, but you don't know that those people are friends with them?
I
You
think that
don't know.
everyone should
Do you
start
get
off
what I'm
like
saying?
cautiously. Yeah, you
But
shouldn't
you get
just
what I'm saying,
assume that
though?
like you can like say
Like,
whatever you want to anybody.
I can say whatever the fuck I want to any one of the four of you. And it's okay. I can say
Because we're
whatever the fuck I
friends,
want to
yeah.
your wife. And it's okay
Whoa.
because I love her.
But if someone comes up to you and says some shit or tries to
One of
grab
you
on
will
you,
stab them.
it's gonna be a problem. Exactly.
Well, my problem with this is the fact that it isn't black and white. I mean, there's 1,000 times
There's
where
a gray area.
look, and
There
even
is
as
gray
a
area.
as a
Okay.
bartender, being somebody who, look, this is going to sound horrendous. But I know I am not the only one guilty of this in this room right now. However, there are some people, certain customers that you see as a bartender that will come in and say some shit to you that's not over the top inappropriate.
But they're leaving
But
you
it's-
$50.
But it's uncomfortable. However, you fucking just paid my water bill tonight, and I'm really not that upset about it because you
Yep.
come in 3 days a week.
So it's
tip
not
me
unwanted.
$200. But it's the comment
it's
itself is
not-
unwanted, but you put up with a certain
the
amount because
comment
I
is
like to make
unwanted,
money.
but guess what? You're giving me enough money to make it worth it.
you're paying.
That's
you're
why
paying
strippers
to
do what they
harass
do. I mean, they don't want to like give hand jobs in the back room, but
To be fair, a lot of
No,
them do.
and I get that. I get that. I totally get
Just
that.
a
And
handy.
that's why I don't
It's
judge.
definitely a thing in Miami. I'm just
Just a
saying.
handy. You can just wash your hands when you're
That's
done.
my.
I mean, to be fair,
that's why I don't
fucking
judge.
bartenders can do it in the goddamn bathroom. I mean,
There's been
but it's
many
tough for me.
times
But
we've
there's a
all had
lot of
things
people where like,
happen.
no, you're not sitting here telling me like, oh, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you whether you like it or not, or like, oh,
You've
I've
had that said
masturbated
to
to
you. That's why
you.
you've had that said to you.
Yes, by someone who was quickly escorted out of the bar, not by anyone who was paying that. Like, look, at the end of the day, people who leave a lot of money to an extent feel some type of way, and they feel like, yes, I can say a certain thing to you. They're not going to cross.
They feel
Oh,
entitled.
over-
Okay, but guys, can you stop
huge
grabbing
line.
me when you talk to me? Like, don't touch
Oh
me.
no,
like,
this is
at
not.
all?
This is
Like-
not
like,
physical
at all?
interaction. This is just the verbal
No,
commentation.
but I'm talking about
Sorry.
the physical interaction with
right.
like the verbal commentation. Like,
You're right.
like
Oh,
don't
no, I
don't
don't
touch
get
me.
grabbed.
Like,
Right.
there's no reason to grab me. Like, touch me, grab by the back of my
Right,
neck,
right.
brush my hair. Like, no, none of that. None of that needs to happen. Ask me to buy a drink, and I'm gonna say no, and we can never talk again. But don't fucking touch me.
No, don't touch
Don't
me.
touch
That's
me.
don't
No,
don't
touch
touch
me.
me.
anybody.
I
Don't
got
ever
like
ever
a
touch
like
anybody.
black
Let me-
belt in Rex Quad.
Let me ask one quick question,
I'm so excited.
and then we're gonna get into would you rather.
Can I pee first?
No.
No,
Damn
we're
it.
all gonna be
I'm
done
like
so
3
soon.
drinks
all
in
wait
here.
before
We've
you
all
I'll be back in a
got.
second.
I was at work. I didn't
Dad,
have
Hold
a
on.
choice.
Let Dad go.
Hold on, Tristan. What?
Oh, I was just wanted to go back to the part. Were you saying that I can give out hand jobs to get my water bill paid? Because that's just like real expensive out here.
You can.
I mean, you really should
Yes.
contact the
Well,
water
I mean,
company,
putting it
but for the
that
most
way-
part, yes.
They got arrested.
Just go direct. I like it.
That is
Okay.
technically
I mean,
prostitution.
there's a difference
Well, you
between
just check
prostitution
on the
and bartending
sheet. Like,
or
are you gonna
stripping.
do auto pay, checks, or hand jobs? Like, it's right there.
Yeah,
like on the.
Gigi
Anyway,
Gigi
on a
just
side note,
spilled-
Gigi is Frank Reynolds as of now.
Should I start
All right.
grilling the beer?
All right, let's make this real fast then, because go pee.
Thank you. Where is it?
Okay.
And she did
You've been here before.
Corner.
The lights on.
You told me to do it.
Upstairs, you'll see it on the right.
There's an empty Jameson bottle on the stairs.
What'd you say?
Gigi almost
What?
peed with the potty seat.
Yo, I saw a seat up and I was like, oh, and then I realized
She's
it was
baby sleeping.
really small.
Oh, she almost used the training seat for my son.
I realized it was really small. I was like, that's not normal. Shannon was like, that's a potty seat. I was like, okay.
You better prepare yourself.
Yeah, she
that
hasn't
shit's
gotten
coming.
there yet.
Well,
Rookie.
Shannon said she had never seen one like that, and she's got an older.
Because I've never seen one attached to the toilet like that.
Christina's trying to get Mikey to improve his aim. That's what that's
Yeah.
about.
Fuck that. I'm sitting. I'm home. I'm sitting.
Wait, what? Really?
Fuck yeah.
Every time?
If I'm home, I'm sitting.
New every day.
Do you?
That's amazing.
Damn right. If I'm gonna take the time at home to use the restroom, I'm gonna make sure everything's out of me.
You don't feel properly emptied when you're standing?
No, I'm just saying that, you know, you might feel inspired to. Just
I see. Just that way you have the option for number 2. Wild.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Just leaving himself open.
It's all efficiency.
Learn something new every day.
Something. Hashtag Mikey pees while sitting.
Oh Lord. I mean, you already named this episode, so what are you worried about?
Yeah, whatever. If I was worried about anything, I wouldn't continue doing this podcast.
This is very estrogen filled out. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah.
Episode. Yeah.
It's-
We could
it's
use
got-
we could use some of that around here. It's fine.
You know, that's why I'm here.
I mean, here at Last Call, we can't get right. So, I mean,
Hey.
Hey. Shout out.
Wait, where's
Oh,
oh, Dixon's way over here.
Dixon.
oh
God,
Where's
Dixon, you
Dixon?
smell.
Dixon bombs.
leave Dixon alone.
They have
They won't
fed.
come here anymore. Will you officially let it? Is the show officially dead, or are they just planning season 4?
We
That's
don't
how I
talk
feel
about
about it.
Can't Get Right.
It's like I love Can't Get Right.
We'll
But they
get back
really
to that.
cannot
When was
get
their
right,
last
and that's the
episode?
problem
Yes,
because
Can't Get Right.
Sweet irony.
Was there last episode with us on there?
No,
Sweet
I
irony.
can't remember.
okay, Dixon,
It'll be
you're
back.
already wasted. Okay, the episode hasn't even started.
To be fair,
He's
that
already-
made
All
me
right, Mikey,
so
what's our
mad when we
question?
were all on there, the 3 of us, and we did what was it, Powerpuff Girls and that
Uh-huh.
shit. I showed up from a test for a government job, and and Dixon got mad at me because I
And you
was
got that
late.
government job.
No, a different government job. I didn't
Oh,
get that
never
one,
mind.
but he was mad at me because I took so long to take my test, and then when I showed up, he was half blackout drunk.
My first episode on Can't Get Right, I'm not kidding you. I never want to even listen to it ever again because I was so drunk.
You know what? I never listened to any of these after we record
You
them.
know
I'll
what? I
share
was
them.
o-
I've never listened to one
I
of our
was
podcasts.
okay.
ever.
Talk about
I was
Last
okay
Call
with my
podcast.
Can't Get Right episode.
I'm not allowed back
never
on
listened to
Can't
it.
Get Right ever
That's
again.
Right.
So
That's right. You're official.
I've never listened to them because I told myself.
Neither is anyone else because they don't record anymore.
that's true.
No, I was actually okay with my Can't Get Right episode. They asked me a lot of questions I didn't want to answer, but I was drunk enough to answer, so it was okay.
All right.
I'm not surprised by that in the slightest.
Exactly.
6 shots.
All right.
Exactly.
All right.
Would you
All right.
rather?
We
So
got one more question.
I do have one more question. We're gonna muscle this out as fast as possible.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
no.
Gigi,
So
I will hug you to death.
Harassment.
that is unwanted touching.
She loves it. What about licking?
So, all right. So we have a few mamas here.
Okay.
All right. You have a son.
Pets don't count, right?
Daughter.
A
I was like, I really had to question myself there. So I have 2 sons.
It's my nightmare.
Yeah, my nightmare was I told wifey T right off. I said, all right, if we have 2 sons, I'll let you go for the girl. If we have boy girl boy whatever.
You told me this.
Yeah, that's
But done.
but I said girl. I'm done. Cut my losses. I make girls. That's what it is.
You
But
have to go for a third.
yeah,
See, my nightmare is
Secret.
that I'm
Is
gonna
this
have
the
a boy
reveal?
next.
Is this it? Are we here for the reveal?
hey, it's bound to happen.
Chrissy
So-
wants to walk downstairs with a cake that's pink inside and shit.
Yeah,
Confetti fucking
She's already
everywhere.
9 months pregnant.
just so everyone
Surprise,
knows.
bitches.
Nobody's seen her in a while. They're like, wait a minute.
That's how it was with the last one. Everyone got a picture on Christmas of it's a boy. We're
I
like,
wanna hear
she
what
was
Mike
pregnant.
Okay, so
All
what's
right,
the
yeah,
question?
So, how do you feel moving into this culture where, especially with a son, how do you react to the expanding culture of where Like
Yeah, where
so
it's
my question is not,
so
so my question is not, you know, are you anti-rape culture or any of that stuff? It's what about the expanding scope of that range?
we've basically talked about both sides. We've talked about rape accusations where A, it ruins people's lives, or B, where guys do whatever they want and ruin women's lives because they're just, you know, hide your kids, hide your wife because they're raping everybody out here.
The reason I asked is so
I have got to pee. I can't.
we have not timed this well at all. Sorry.
Listen, it's been more than an hour.
I'm still
All right.
standing.
To
All
be
right,
fair, I
so-
was chugging drinks, so that went through pretty quick.
All right, so I've been on the receiving end of that situation 3 times.
Accusations?
No.
Rape.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, not nice. Let's fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, fuck you too. How's that sound? So and then one time I've been on the casual, not to the degree that some people have had to deal with, where it's I've been on the accusation side of rape, and I'm like, no.
Wait, has somebody
You
really
have?
ever?
Yeah. So
Against you.
I
All right,
will
all right,
kill
hold
them.
on, hold on,
so
Gigi.
all right, so
Hold on.
three
Sorry.
times I was put in a bad position where I was assaulted, and then one time someone still was the aggressor and then accused me. Because of that makes me ask, specifically parents, makes me wonder how you feel about that. So and look,
If you
I am
stop
not-
wearing shirts cut for my 6-year-old, you'd stop getting that kind of
I want to
attention.
hear
Yeah.
what Mikey has to say.
right,
This
so
Sorry.
is Mikey's time.
so obviously I am not some
You need
meek.
to.
Yeah, obviously I'm not some meek individual.
Clearly.
So what
that's-
say you about that? I think that's a tough realization for people. It's like, because of, so there's undeniably a cultural precedent set where women are put in a negative situation. You're absolutely put at the harder position. But I think because of the rebound effect from that, where so I'm a manly man, and therefore my opinion on that does not matter. And I'm not saying like, oh my god, men are so persecuted. That's some fucking bullshit. Anybody that says that can take a fucking dick in the mouth. But
Consensually. Love you.
but what I'm saying is that there is the opposing, not the opposing side, but you know, there is it also happens the other way. And I don't know if people realize that, especially from the side of somewhere it's like, oh, masculinity, you know, you're not allowed to admit those things.
Mhm.
And that's
Unacceptable.
it's yeah, exactly.
Unacceptable.
So I as a manly man am not allowed to accept or am not allowed to express that I've been in those same situations that all these other that women have been victimized by. And I'm not saying it's anywhere near the level. So I've
But it is.
Can I ask?
No,
can
no.
I ask something real quick?
all right.
How is it any less? How the fuck is it any less?
My
Well-
thing is, you can't have one without the other. Okay,
Right.
so we can't say, well, right here. Okay, yeah, but then
No, and I agree with you.
So that's
but
my
what I'm saying, people who were
No, so here's what it is.
okay.
Is that not
Can I
so
just
it's
answer
not
now?
that, so obviously this has happened to me and it happens to other men, but it nowhere in any realm is anybody saying that it happens in the frequency that it happens to women. I
Doesn't
can't-
matter.
And well,
I mean,
no,
but
no, no.
also-
I'm not saying, but as far as severity, that's arguable.
I-
But frequency, I
But how in severity? I'm sorry. I have to jump in. How in severity is it different when it is that much harder for you as a man to come out and say this shit than it is as a woman? How is it harder?
We're worried about
How is it harder? Well, for instance, and I'm not saying this is what happened to you, but as a child, say a little girl, same exact thing happened to her as a little boy. I'm going to think it's a little bit harder for that little boy to say something.
it might be
Because of the stigmatism, because of everything. Laugh all you want.
Stigmatization.
you knew what I meant,
Because-
and I'm drunk, so you know what I
'Cause-
meant, though.
No, that's actually a thing.
The
Like,
stigma.
The stigma
You
is
said the stigmatism, which is an eye condition.
the eye condition. You get a little blurry
I'm sorry.
sometimes.
I mean, if your eyes can't
so
you
focus
get
right,
what the
it
fuck I'm
could
saying.
It was
affect-
so
You
funny.
get
I'm
what the
sorry.
fuck I'm saying. I don't really care. At the end of the day, how is it harder
I'm glad we can all take
for a
this slightly
boy
lightly.
to say that rather than a girl? Because I like
Tristan, where you at?
I'm here.
a girl, it's easier for her to say that. It's easier for her to be acknowledged. Whereas a boy, it's damning.
I just want to say I'm offended by the way your boobs look in this monitor.
I
right
don't
now.
really give a fuck, Scarlett.
They're like mounds.
Don't. She's gonna cover them up. We're trying to get fucking click views here, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Don't,
yeah.
don't
Okay,
make
okay,
yourself
okay.
conscious
Can
about.
I
We
just
never
be
had
honest
boobs
here?
on this
Can
show,
I-
and you're
I
trying to fuck it up,
literally-
Shannon.
I just feel like as an adult male, especially in the sexual harassment like thing, is like
Am I wrong?
it's 100% easier for you, especially like I'm not gonna say 100, but a decent amount. Like especially with like your stature and whatnot, like any like unwanted advances, like it'd be super easy for you to defend yourself. You know,
They're
you just
believed
Get off me, you
more.
drunk
They're believed
bitch.
more.
Yeah,
They're
like,
believed
I'm-
more.
let me
put
But
this
in-
how much
let me-
harder
can I
is
put
it
this-
for them?
if
I have a
woman
good story.
tries to grab
All
your
right.
dick, it's going to be
Maddie.
easier for you to physically stop her versus a woman.
No, this was a
No,
parent
as a
question.
child.
I'm
Wait.
not talking about
Wait,
children.
wait,
I said-
wait.
I prefaced it
No.
with
She
adult.
she
I
makes
did
a
say
great
adult.
point.
I did say adult. I didn't say children. Yeah, I didn't say
She
children.
did. She does make a great point as far as the physical difference
Exactly.
between men and women,
Exactly.
and I think
get
that
I
is
get
that is
I
very
get that.
accurate.
Yes.
I get that.
So,
If a man says no, he's gonna be able to restrain you like 9 times out of 10. Like I feel like
But 9 times out of 10, sexual assault that happens against males is against children. It's not
that's why
against grown men.
I
It's
didn't
against
say that's why I
children.
said as a grown man.
And
I definitely didn't say because I feel you on the
completely
kids.
so I
Well,
had a
let's-
story. So I was
Alright.
at work.
No, stop. I get what you're saying, and I completely
Well,
agree with
that's
you.
that's a
Tristan, where you
different that's a whole different story though.
I'm,
I mean,
I'm
that-
waiting. I'm waiting to strike.
Oh, we about to drop the
So
mic.
I was at work.
Hold on, let me hear
Yeah.
what's
I would like to
Tristan.
hear Tristan's
What's he
voice.
stewing on?
Poor Tristan's been in limbo here with.
We're
No,
always
I'm having a
happy,
fucking
bro.
fantastic time. I just wish I was still drinking. It's been 214 hours now.
But who's
Hey, that's a
counting?
long time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
So
let's
look,
hear the Ohio perspective.
here's the thing, and I think we've covered a lot of this tonight, but you can't have a culture where we string up everybody who anybody points a finger at. Just because somebody said you did something wrong, you can't string them up from a tree. But you also can't have a culture where people are afraid to come forward about these things because they're afraid they won't be believed, and worse off, they'll be attacked, right? So those are the two ends that we have. And both of those are unacceptable. The important part is, and I'm going to get sort of mushy here, and for that, I apologize. The important part is that we continue to talk about these things and have an open dialogue. And I think that's what we're losing. I think we're so busy calling each other, snowflakes, or from the other side, you're just, the opposite of a feminist, whatever it is. Pardon me. What's the opposite of feminist?
Misogynist.
Misogynist. You're a misogynist. You're a snowflake. Like, We've got to continue to talk these things out because we're never going to live in either one. We got to live somewhere in the middle. And the only way to do this is to look at everything case by case and tread carefully and not just fucking react to everything just because somebody put something up on Facebook and a bunch of thumbs up appear next to it.
Hashtag triggered.
Like, stop just fucking stringing everybody up from a tree who everybody points a finger at. We've got to talk about this stuff. We've got to stop acting like there's only two camps that you can live in. We can fucking meet in the middle and fix some of this shit.
We can fuck and meet in the middle.
Yes!
Why don't you just meet me in the
All
middle?
right, Tristan, I just want to tell
Sing
you
that
that you
fucking
just
song,
won your
driving me
vagina
nuts.
badge.
Yeah,
That's the last thing I have to say on this.
You just won your vagina badge.
I have a serious question. So
Okay.
this came to me from a customer a few weeks ago. He was hammer drunk, but we were talking, and as a grown man, a big grown man, he made a comment to me about how his wife had actually slipped him Viagra.
Nice.
Unacceptable.
And that's
Unacceptable.
the thing where
Is
I
his
think
dick
about
not
that.
working though?
And it wasn't
If
to take
he
advantage of it.
didn't
No,
Hold
it
on.
wasn't.
No.
It wasn't to take
let her
advantage. It
talk.
wasn't anything like that. It was one of those things where they had gotten into an argument. She didn't want to have sex with him. It wasn't anything like that. It just, he was like, she was pissed off at me. We had the little blue pills that she, whatever. Yes, unacceptable
Not
through the
okay.
sense of drugging.
Not okay.
However, but for me,
4 hours.
that's what I think
Hard
of when it
dick.
comes to, I mean, think of it as the idea of roofing. If you have a drunk enough dude,
I've been roofied numerous. I've roofied myself.
I mean, I've been roofied too, but at the end of the day,
Oh,
like,
I've been roofied.
I was 16 and I wanted to know what it felt like. I don't want to hear it.
but I was roofied, and I mean, I luckily had people around me that understood that I wasn't in the right place of mind, so nothing happened to me that night. Yeah, like I had nothing happen to me that night. However, at the end of the day, when something like that happens as a grown ass man, I can imagine it's the same kind of ordeal.
Yeah.
Being someone who, I mean,
So wait, she raped him.
no, they didn't. No. This is just a
She slipped
situation
him
that was presented to
something.
me that I thought was very awkward between a married couple. But as a adult male, I can imagine that happening at a bar for the similar circumstances
I'm
of a
just saying
roofie.
But what's the point?
Hey, if
I
motherfucker
just
was
wanna know as a
slinging dick
man,
like he
if
should
that's the
be,
kind of thing
That's what I'm
that,
getting at.
you know what I
There
mean?
would
Like,
be no
as
need.
a man,
Step
if
your
you're in a
game up,
situation that you
man.
I
don't want to be
consider
in,
that rape.
it's hard to be.
I consider that rape.
to be fair, that's definitely rape. But
I consider that rape.
They didn't have sex. They did not have sex. This was a joke between the two of them. Whatever.
So
it was,
she got his
But I'm
dick
saying,
hard
I
and
didn't
didn't
What
jack
kind of
off.
fucking joke is that?
She's a psycho.
it was a family occasion, and
She's
she
a
thought it was
fucking
funny.
psycho.
That
She gave him Viagra before
All
the
right.
family reunion.
For a palate cleanser,
Counterpoint.
for the
Counterpoint.
first time in last call history,
not okay.
would you rather will be the palate cleanser because holy shit, what the
That's
fuck
fair.
has happened
That's fair.
tonight?
That's fair.
I feel cleansed.
Would you rather?
One at a
You don't
time,
actually
please.
feel cleansed, Shannon. Don't bullshit.
Would you rather? Would you rather? Would you rather? Would you rather wake up to find a roach sucking on your tear duct for moisture,
Oh, dear sweet Jesus.
or find 2 rats having sex on your stomach?
Rats.
Sex
Rats.
rats. Sex
100%.
Maddie,
Sex.
rats?
Rats.
100% the rats.
Gigi,
I'm going to go with rats.
I work with
Rats.
rats every day.
Shannon,
I
rats.
love rats.
I'm gonna go with rats.
Wait, they're not.
Bugs are
they-
gross.
wait, the wait. The rats
Cockroaches are
aren't
disgusting.
like
A tear duct is a
it-
direct.
they're
route to
they're
your
just
immune
they're
system.
just going at it on my stomach, correct?
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
fuck that,
rats.
I'm
I'd be like, whoa.
I would still be thoroughly disgusted.
I'd be
but
like,
it's-
where's Scarlet?
Welcome to the Last Call podcast where we're actually funny.
I mean,
Look, don't ask me how I know, but like rat cum is really hard to clean off clothing. So I'm gonna go
How
rinse
you
it.
asking
I'm
me?
sorry,
I
but
don't
how do
care.
you know?
I told you not to ask me how I know.
I'm sorry, but we have to ask. How do you know? Rat cum.
Every time I look over there, I'm like,
Rats have little
my mouth
dicks.
is like directly on.
Yeah. Little dicks, but like way more cum than you would think.
So why do you know that rat comes
So
out?
rats
All
are
right.
just like
You
first
all have a dark past, Maddie.
So Tristan, rat.
Roach, definitely roach.
You're
I
saying
don't-
roach? Okay.
I don't want to wake up to rats having sex on my stomach again.
Again, he said again.
I'm proud of you.
But Have you ever woken up to a rat or a roach in your eye duct?
Can we?
No,
not
but I'll
look
try
at
anything
this?
once.
Allegedly.
Trapped
Allegedly.
Ebola through your eye socket. So I'm gonna go with not roaches sucking on my tear ducts because I don't need like AIDS and shit, which roaches carry.
Agreed. I agreed.
So I'm saying the rats because I can physically fucking swat those rats across the room. And
I'm
that,
gonna kill them.
that would be so cathartic. Like
What if he comes right as like you
No,
smack it though?
I'm gonna
It
kill
never
like
comes
that
out of
rat
your
really
sheets
likes to
ever.
be beat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
kill them.
BDSM
Hashtag
rats.
me too.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dixon likes it.
All right. If anyone doesn't know, Gigi is drunk.
Would you
She's officially drunk. I'm
rather?
Sorry,
Oh, no, there's
babe.
another.
I'm sorry.
I'm about to take Gigi home, and she's about to grade me.
would you,
I'm not grading anyone. Maddie's taking me home, and I'm staying in the car for 20 minutes until I'm sober.
would you rather pose nude for a magazine for $10,000 or
Maddie, for that?
free.
or dance nude once a month for $5,000 a night?
I'm sorry.
I'm
One-
dancing, dude.
One time for
once a
10
month.
grand
dancing.
or
5,000
$5 grand a
I'm
month.
dancing.
These hoes, they already know their answer.
Yeah,
I want
seriously.
to hear it again.
I'm dancing.
I'm
Who-
dancing.
Pose
Y'all
nude
bitches can't dance.
for a magazine for pose nude for a magazine for $10,000 or dance nude once a month for $5,000.
Once a month is
I'll be
paying
your
for my
private
child's fucking
dancer.
college.
Your dancer.
I
for
will
money.
dance once a month for
Well,
$5,000.
I'm gonna
listen,
dance.
If
I don't dance.
If Rahman is going to dance,
Dixon
you
is
have, like,
my
an accent.
I know. I noticed
That's
it in
how
the
you're
car.
actually supposed to pronounce it.
She's like Rahman.
Rahman.
Svetlana
Hey,
just made an appearance.
That's how you're actually supposed to pronounce it without the
Pronounce
phlegm.
it.
without the phlegm.
Rockman. Rockman.
Hey Rockman, how you doing?
That's me.
All right, question number.
I'm gonna dance. So my daughter.
I'm just gonna dance.
I just want to dance.
I just want to dance.
I'm gonna dance.
Tristan, how you dancing?
I just
I'm
want to
sorry.
use my time slot to go on record saying flipping your husband Viagra thing is hilarious to me.
I want to feel the heat with
Remember how I wanted her
somebody.
to sing? It came late. Just like most
Would
guys.
you
They came
rather?
early. It came late. I would be excited for that shit.
I guess we come late. Or
We
never.
always come late.
Came late like most guys. No, most of the ones I've been with came way too early.
I know you come late.
Nah, mean.
I
mean.
know Scarlett comes late.
Would you rather? Would you rather eat a golf ball sized clump of wasabi
Nope.
or a heaping tablespoon of crushed red peppers?
Neither. I'm gonna veto
Red
that
pepper.
one.
I'm gonna go with the wasabi.
I'm gonna go with the
Hold on.
wasabi.
Maddie?
You have to pick
I've never eaten either of those. I don't
Neither have
know.
I, neither have I,
How have
neither
you
have I.
not eaten either of those?
I don't eat fucking sushi because it's disgusting, and red pepper is just not my thing.
I never had either.
Shannon's about to whoop your ass.
I'm going
No.
with the red
Get your
pepper.
steak,
I'm
get
going
your
with the
ass
red
beat.
I
pepper.
don't eat meat or pizza sauce. At one point in my life was I supposed to eat wasabi or red fucking pepper.
I'm going with the red pepper.
I'm gonna go with wasabi.
Don't
It's-
do it.
It
Don't
does
do
wonders
All right,
for the sinuses.
All right, well, wasabi isn't that the palate cleanser,
No. that's
or is it the
That's
ginger?
the ginger.
Oh, that's
Okay.
dumb.
I mean, it'll technically cleanse your palate, but
Gigi, no!
No.
oh
There's gonna be another baby.
Big rock, man. I hope you're ready.
Well, if there was, there's not now.
No.
This is actually how the first one was made.
Oh my God! Shut up. No.
It's not
It wasn't just
Assume.
Jameson.
It wasn't just James.
It wasn't.
Let's
just-
not get into
Ugh.
it. Anyway, so neither.
this might be the greatest episode.
I'm gonna drink water.
You're not throwing up in my car. are
Yeah,
you?
that'll make a
I know you
difference.
are.
That's the quote of the night. Maddie looks at Gigi and goes, "You're not going to throw up in my car, are you?"
She knows that's not happening.
No,
So-
we're gonna go to the Mets
Answer
farm
is yes.
instead.
Wasabi or red pepper, Maddie?
Wasabi.
Red pepper.
I don't know.
Red pepper.
Wasabi.
Shit.
Wasabi.
It should be wasabi because that shit's quick.
Yeah.
Tristan?
I am not
It's like a
okay with
cinnamon
wasabi.
Hold on.
I gotta go wasabi, but I wonder about the damage that quantity would do on the way through.
Not okay. Not okay with
You'll be
wasabi.
fine.
Red pepper goes away like that.
Or
Exactly.
No, it's not. It's all
I've
or
had
like,
worse
you're
in my
gonna
mouth.
take like a fucking red pepper shit.
Mikey,
Like, it's not gonna
Mikey,
be-
camera.
Oh, seriously?
I didn't say that.
Whew.
Okay.
red
All
pepper
right. Well,
shit.
we can go around with that now. What's the worst thing you've had in your mouth? I don't.
Whoa, that escalated quickly.
Took an interesting
All
turn
right,
there.
what are we
All
talking
right.
about? Like,
So, if you all are ready
Oh,
for shit to get real fucking uncomfortable,
It starts with D and ends with Ixon.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
No
anyone
worries.
here has
Would-
Dixon
No
in their
worries.
mouth.
would you rather save your child
I gotta save him. I hate
or
him.
save
hate him.
your spouse in a fatal car accident?
Save my child.
well, I don't have any
my
kids,
child.
so
Save my
Aaron,
child.
you're good.
Listen,
R.I.P. to all the
No.
boyfriends in the room.
I love Rahman. I do.
What is it with this?
Rahman.
Do you want to actually pronounce it the correct way, or do you want to pronounce it Rockman?
Listen,
Ramen.
a lot of people
I've-
think his
I've
name is
put
ramen
him-
noodle. So
I've put him in the computer as Rockman.
Okay, well it's Rahman. It's
be so mad
when he I don't really give a fuck. It's an
Rocket
H
Man.
with less phlegm.
it's a ramen.
It's a hard H, less
bet-
phlegm.
I
That's
really
sexist
like
fun
it.
for you.
You know what? I
Oh,
really
Rock-
don't. I call him baby. I call him baby.
Oh, okay. Then never
Yeah,
mind.
don't give a fuck.
So I guess everyone's saving their kids.
Here's the thing.
I don't have kids, so I'm gonna say
my
my
biggest
boyfriend.
thing was, I mean, after the second
Everybody's being
flood, Mikey knew that
so
when he
dramatic.
told me that Frederick Road was shut down. My biggest thing was I was with Daniel. However, I was risking my life to get my pets. Granted, they are not a child, but they are my fur babies.
I would have
so-
absolutely been there. If you,
Oh, I know you would have been. You're.
I hate the
Yeah.
term fur babies.
we talked.
They're fur babies.
We
Sounds
talked.
like Furbies or like
Or herpes.
So I like
Very
it's like
hairy
herpes.
Not the same thing.
No,
It's-
I understand
it's
they're
not the same
as a
thing.
child. No, they are never the same thing as a child. I would never equate the
Just
two.
take them.
That's the
However,
difference. you
I would
need to
never
know.
equate the two, but they are, as someone with no children, they are the two that I.
That's
they
a fair
depend on
assessment.
me to live, so I'm gonna put it that way. I do have to smoke a cigarette.
Gigi.
That would be
Alright.
a great time.
All right.
Can I
All right.
smoke a cigarette?
Would
I have one left.
Last one.
Oh.
they can barely make it.
idea.
Gigi, go pee.
Here's a
last one?
cigarette.
No,
No,
this is the final one.
Okay.
Would you rather always have a strong wind in your face, Or ha- or have to go through life in a wet drizzle?
You know what? That wind.
What kind
that
of
wind's
wind?
unwanted, and I feel violated
What?
right now.
Wait.
So.
Hashtag triggered.
Mikey, what kind of wind?
It's a strong
I've been watching
wind.
the 100 lately.
A strong wind. It's like somebody blowing a hair dryer directly in your face.
Or what? Or what was the other one?
Or you have to go through life with a wet drizzle.
I'm gonna go with drizzle.
Tristan, where you at? Where you at?
I'm going
Oh,
with
this is the
drizzle.
worst
I'd rather
question.
be
in
wet
my
than
life.
dry.
Yep. Yep.
False.
No.
I'd rather
I'm not
be
a
wet
fan
than
of like
dry.
the hard.
I don't
All
like
right.
when my clothes are wet.
All right, hold on, Maddie. What do you think?
Wet.
Wet. Maddie says wet. Gigi.
Wet drizzle.
Gigi is
I'm
wet.
going hard, yo.
Gone with
Shannon.
the wind.
Gonna go with the wind.
Oh, and we got two dry, so we're split for the ladies. I'm gonna say
I don't
No,
like when
baby.
my clothes are wet.
You have
I'm
no
gonna
idea.
say
My hair
drizzle.
gets frizzy as fuck.
You're gonna say so. You're gonna say drizzle.
hair
That's
gets
great.
wet.
Tristan, what's
I don't
the
care.
tiebreaker?
I don't care.
Well, you were the tiebreaker, you said drizzle.
Dry. Doesn't that just create a
No,
tie?
now we're back in a tie.
Fuck,
again.
we're at a tie.
She just drank it with the cap on.
I did.
I just
God
didn't want
damn
to
it.
say. I
She's
just didn't
got
want
like
to
a
say
light
wet
drizzle
anymore. I just
all over her boobs.
You were uncomfortable by saying it.
No, I've got to drive, but
Oh my god, Gigi.
someone should
All right.
pay money for
I made it
this.
rain on your titties.
So,
Super wet.
thank you very much, ladies, for joining us for the most controversial and
Prestige
Estrogen
worldwide.
filled.
Why?
absolutely estrogen-filled episode of the Last Call
Yes, sir.
podcast. I appreciate you all joining us. As always, thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank you for
sorry.
having us.
Thank you to Tristan for joining us from the great state of Ohio.
hey, you all can come back. We can do this every fucking week. Michael,
I'm
keep
glad
buying
that we
alcohol.
got to do this.
Did you know that Ohio is round on the sides and high in the middle?
Tristan, I'm mad that our original podcast was
This is
not
the most
able
action
to be
Tristan has
aired.
gotten all night.
I am too, but this is a good makeup. This is the most. My wife is out of town, so this worked out great. I got
You know
to
what?
be.
Every time I do a podcast with you motherfuckers, your wife is always out of town. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's true.
I
You caught me.
Is it
Tristan dead for
coincidence?
years.
I just love you guys, and I'm.
There's a new definition of dry
sad
October.
that the original one.
So on that note,
I'm just happy that I've been able to be here without a year's span in between each visit.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh my god.
so we'll see y'all next time on
Let's be done.
the entirely chaotic and pee-filled episode of
P.
Last Call
All that
podcast.
beer.
Maybe
Wait,
this
who
is
got
it. Maybe we just
casted?
retire from here. We just fucking. You're supposed to be going to the computer to turn it off now.
I know.
Wait, no. Who won?
Oh wait, I got third.
Who
When-
got the
wait,
casting
when's
couch?
my
Who
audition?
got the audition?
Oh yeah, who wins?
Wait,
Who wins? We should
This
should
is a
find this
black
out. Let me
couch
just fling this out.
casting couch.
the two in the middle.
Oh yeah.
who wins? Who
The two in the
Who
middle.
wins?
No.
Who's
I mean,
getting
Gigi
cast?
showed the